And welcome back. Hey, man, I am so sorry about all these technical difficulties. I don't know. Maybe that's why a lot of people don't do this, having these joint ventures. I live in the sticks, man. I guess maybe the bandwidth doesn't like it or something. I'm assuming you guys can hear us now. Is there anybody on there? All right, nobody on there. Nope. They probably won't even jump on now.
Oh, we got a few.
Oh, I'd like to do that. Raise your hand. I would be more than glad to help you or have you on. Save my show anyways, huh? Crazy. What's going on, Justin? When I ran my speed test, hey, good night, buddy. Thank you for everything. My upload was 365 and my download was 27. Who said, all right, let's do this? Jackie? Okay. Dial 207 546. Actually, nope. I'm not giving up my cell phone number here. What the hell was I thinking? 207. Oh, yeah, and by the way, this show, since it started over again, was sponsored by Taunton Bay and Flower Power Coffee Company. CBD infused coffee. Very healthy. If you guys missed our other show, about 5 minutes ago, we took some Kratom live. We're not dead.
Nope, not yet.
You don't know. I might have to run to the bathroom pretty soon, though. You can find Flower Power Coffee through our website, TauntonBaySoapCompany.com. Changing lives with leaves, one person at a time. And, oh yeah, the telephone number. That means I'm going to have to get up. Damn it. The telephone number is 207-669. I don't even know what my direct line is. 207-669-8239. Go ahead. Hi, Sonia. Jackie, go ahead, call in. Justin. My brother used to podcast about stuff like this, and he always had issues. Probably the FDA is messing with you. That's kind of what I was thinking, but I wasn't going to say it out loud. You know. Why doesn't it ring through to my line?
I don't know.
I will be right back because this is technology at its finest right here. I guess Brad's for a second. What did I do? Hang it up?
I think so.
Go ahead, try it again. It says 407. Another transfer line?
Yep.
All right, you go transfer line.
All right. I'll get you connected.
Thank you.
Yeah, you got it.
407. 407. Should be playing some music. Oh, speaking of music, I think I'm going to go challenge somebody to a twerking contest.
You just transferred it back.
Did I? All right, do it again.
Yeah, pick it up.
Your call. Press 2 to send the call to voicemail. Press 1 to answer the call. Press 2 to send the call.
Hello?
Oh, what's up?
How's it going, Jason? On the line we have...
Yeah, I'm going.
You're gonna have to speak up, buddy. Hold on.
So how's it going up north?
It is going very good. It's
Let me turn you down on the peace signal.
yeah, you're gonna have to probably turn.
Let me turn you down. Yeah, okay, all right. Oh, we're good now.
Can you guys hear
What's going
Jason?
up there?
Hold on, I'm making sure they can
Can
hear
you hear
you.
me now?
I can hear you. I'm making sure they can hear you.
Can you hear me now? Hear me now?
Can you hear me now? All
Can you
right,
hear me now?
I hear you.
It's friggin' iPhone, man.
Right. All right. So, what's going on, Jason? How are you? And what's your story?
Got home, man. Just, took a little trip down south and just hanging out. Saw you guys come online. Thought I'd say hey.
Well, cool. Thank you very much for calling, man. How's the kratom battle going for you? You still living from taking kratom? You ingest it, right? You put it in your body?
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna get
yeah, I've taken a little bit of it. I was up to summer. I got off of subs with kratom last January. About January, and it took me 8 hours. In 8 hours, a buddy of mine adjusted my dose. And I've been taking those things for 10 years, man, and couldn't get off or anything. And so he's just not doing it right. And he walked me through 8 hours, man. And I never took another sub again. Got up to about, I was taking it's a pretty good dose, man. About a tablespoon or something. And I quit. Show everybody I could quit. And felt like I had a cold for a couple of days. And when I started back on about a half teaspoon or so. And just whenever I feel like I need it, man, it's not like I take it 4 or 5 times a day or anything anymore. And I like greens and greens mostly. Reds don't do much for me, but a little green melee or something like that, just whenever I need it.
Yeah.
But man, I've seen it work miracles, man. I've just so many people. I've done the same thing that guy did for me, man. Just walking them through it. Keeping them from getting sick, and then you hit that dose and change your life. Change your life, man.
Right.
Changed my life.
How long?
The best year of my life.
How long have you been taking it? A year? Is that what you said?
It's been a year and a month now.
Year and a month.
Yeah. I was addicted. To opiates and alcohol for 35 years. And that's what did it, man. Kratom did it for me. I did subs for 10 years, couldn't quit.
Yeah.
One day I quit, and it was the best year of my life. I mean,
How are you feeling? Are you starting to? How are you feeling from this year in comparison to 10 years on subs? I mean, I've kind of tried to explain a little bit to the people on what a long-term Suboxone use does. I was on it for 5 years, 32 milligrams. And while it, like I said before, it did get me off the heroin and the other drugs, it didn't allow for my, I want to say kind of like mental state to grow, or it actually made me degress would be my guess. When I sobered up from the Suboxones, because I was still doing benzos and all kinds of other shit, I weighed 105 pounds. So yeah, I mean, it's not always the best thing. It does help, and I don't want to discourage anybody that has to find that option for whatever reason, but not trying to make enemies here, if you know what I'm saying.
Anybody that reads my page knows that I preach about Suboxone, and I'm a member of Suboxone groups. And that stuff is, I mean, if you're gonna die and you've got a choice whether to do that or shoot up, take the sub. But in my opinion, it's good for a 7-day detox, and that's really about it.
Yeah,
and
I mean that's what it was designed for. The Suboxone was designed as a rapid detox.
I was dead, man. I mean, I was just dead inside. By the time I was done, I was laying in bed, and I would crawl out of bed and literally go to the Kratom groups and just watch. Now, I wouldn't even participate. I was just dead inside. And that's why I keep trying to tell somebody, you might feel great for a few years, and then save your life. But I don't know, man. If you got to be on it long term, I guess you got to. But for me, I didn't want to live that way. I was ready to die. I was done. And I couldn't quit. I mean, I went 4 months one time, and I was still hurting just as bad as the first week. It just wouldn't let up, man. Withdrawals would not let up.
Yeah.
And I don't want to discourage anybody either, but anybody that reads my page knows that I'm telling people, man, be careful what you're doing. This ain't no magic strip here. It's not a miracle drug like I thought it was.
Right.
I mean, it had me trapped for 10 years. So,
yep.
And then we get Kratom, and I think this is a freaking miracle, man. I'm getting these people, and look at me. My life has never been better. And now we're looking at possibly not having that. And I don't want to tell people to go back on drugs, but I help addicts. That's what I do. I really don't know what to do right now. I don't know. I don't know what to tell. The 12 steps. I live that life and I teach it, but you're still looking at a 15% success rate for a year, man. There's nothing like Kratom. I can pull off 60 to 70% needle heroin at it. I can get them off.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I mean, we have people that have started in our group 5 years ago that are still with us. I mean, I think out of 100 that I started the group with, there's like still 80 that are still with us today, taking Kratom, ingesting it for their benefit, and I'm so tired of everybody being like, watch what you say. No, that shit ain't working out, man. It hasn't worked out. It has not been working out. So, and what we need people like you, like Anthony. Everybody needs to just keep giving their testimonies, because, the government issued opiates, they're some of the biggest drug dealers out there, But yeah.
Well, look at what they got now. Look at what we got now up here. A $1,580 buprenorphine injection. I mean, they came out with a $1,500 a month, once a month injection. That's what they got now. That's Gottlieb's answer. I mean, who the hell's going to take that? And how are you going to ever wean off of it? I mean, it's a nightmare. To me, you get a shot in the ass, and you're pretty much owned by them, because who's going to pay for it? Government's going to pay for it. You can't pay for it.
Right.
I mean, it's just a bad situation. I mean, for me, it's blasphemy. And, I've got a tool now that I can use to help people get their lives back. And, I mean, it's gone. It's gone, man. So, I hate to say that. I don't want to be negative. But, I mean, we're not doing a damn bit of good. I mean, he's coming up with all kinds of stuff. Just all kinds of stuff. It's just, can't stop it. I don't know what to do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I honestly think that they're starting to make themselves look foolish. There's only so much misinformation that you can, it's like this story when your parents growing up and they tell you not to tell a lie because you've got to always follow a lie with another lie. The government's been lying so long, everything's going to come to a bubblehead at one point in time. And, I don't want to get going to a point where everybody's going to be pissed off at me for what I say, so I don't want to get political on any aspect. Kratom changes lives. Kratom saves lives. And we are putting so much proof out there that it isn't even funny. Social media is going to change the course of politics. It's going to change the course of a lot of things. But just like anything, there's going to be a lot of issues finding that path there. A lot of people aren't going to get along. A lot of people are going to say, you know, there's a lot of infighting, what's already going on. I mean, that's what they want. They want to cause infighting. They want, you know, I think we'll get it. You know, I see the advocacy groups all really getting their shit together. Man, I'm telling you, I'm really proud of what I know. That there's a huge fight going on right now, and that, you know, everybody's spread thin. Nobody knows what to do, but people are doing things. And it's when they're picking up the phones, writing letters, nonstop, you know, pressure all the time. But the pressure doesn't have to be.
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
I hear what you're saying, but the thing is, man, I've got friends and I've got people watching the TV. I'm saying, you guys know about this, right? And nobody's heard of it. I had a friend just yesterday. She's like, and she's like, you know, she pays attention. She said, I don't know what you're talking about. Sweetheart, this has been going on for a year and a half. And she started back in September, and we've been flooding D.C. with calls and letters, and I haven't seen, you know, nobody's seen it. I mean, the television, I hate to say sensitive, it makes me sound crazy, but it's just not showing up, man. Nobody knows what Kratom is. 25% of the population may know what it is, or I don't know how many is using it. Maybe, 3-4 million?
Yeah, we're thinking roughly about 6 million right now. Since they've been putting out these releases, you know, the FDA stuff, whatever, you know, I've noticed a huge increase in the size of the communities, and it's just been hectic. A lot of questions. We're getting tons and tons and tons of questions. But I mean, that's what we're here for, really, is to answer questions.
Yeah.
And we got to get the media, or at least people knowing, you know, because if they stumble across videos on YouTube or like videos like this, and like, who are these fools? What are they talking about? And then when they realize, they're going to, you know, see maybe a little bit more of what it is. But we got to get the right education out there before they're handed the wrong education, because it's a lot easier to give them the truth first than it is to go in and try and say, all right, well, here's a great big stack of paperwork that I have to prove, and here's the 5,000 people I know personally that benefit from this, you know.
Well, I'm going to tell you the truth, though, man. I mean, it's not going to do any good if people don't hear in the mainstream, if they don't know what it is and what it does. If they did know and they knew that we were about to dish a substance that would get, I mean, we've got a heroin epidemic going on. Right in my hometown, we caught 2 guys from Mexican cartel, Lawrenceburg, Kentucky. You can read about it. A kilo of fentanyl. A kilo of fentanyl. Enough to kill half the state. And I mean, it's everywhere. And I'm not going to go into why I think that is, but it's absolutely ludicrous to me that I've still got people asking me what Kratom is when we've got something. I've gotten well over 200 addicts. I've detoxed well over 200 addicts in the past year off of either pills or heroin, and with about a 60% to 70% success rate. Still today, using Kratom. And to me, I mean, that should be front page news everywhere. It should be all over the news. It's a freaking miracle.
Yeah.
But hey, that's just me.
Man, I tell you, I can't say but we have all blown up the media sources with story after story of success story. And man, I think there's been 3 pieces by not high-end news sources, but man, I stood right out in front of the Today Show and Good Morning America and called them a week in advance and bugged the shit out of them, and nobody nothing. But when there was that release with the FDA 2 weeks ago, man, they're blasting that shit right across the bottom banner.
Yep.
Well, you saw what I was up to last night. 12 hours.
Yeah, I see that. Got me in trouble
Trying
for
to
posting
spread
that.
it. I was just, hell, I don't know what else to do. You know, copy it, paste it,
Yeah.
send it, mail it.
Well, I mean, I think that's part of the thing is they
Anyway, you know, I guess we'll see, man.
All right, man. Hey, I'm going to let somebody else jump on. If anybody else, give me 1 second here, bud. Anybody else wants to give us a call, that right there is the number. Logan will go up and transfer the call so I don't screw it up. But yeah, no, Jason, I woke up this morning and saw that article and I was like, oh, man. But yeah, no, they try stressing us out. I
was fired up, man. It was a Hail Mary for me.
Right.
Yeah.
All we can do is just keep moving forward and keep spreading.
I lost 30 pounds.
Yeah.
I mean, I worked my ass off. I stayed up all night. I tried to think of everything. But yeah, it's been hell.
Yep.
It's so frustrating. You know, you got a room full of legislators, and we got a team up there talking to them, and they're like nodding their heads and taking notes. And I'm thinking, man, this is political 101. These guys have been doing this for years. They're just BSing you. And sure enough, that's exactly what they're doing. They're just nodding their heads. Yes. Oh, we didn't know that. Listen, these legislators knew exactly what they were talking about. You know what Kratom is? If somebody dies on their watch, one of their constituents dies, and Kratom came up a year earlier, every one of them knew exactly what Kratom was and what it does, and they just played dumb. I mean, that's just the truth. I'm not going to go into what team was up there and doing what, but, you know, I just shook my head. You know, you just talked to a bunch of politicians. And they smiled and shook your hand and you walked out happy. That's their freaking job. That's what they're trying to do. And, hey, nothing happened. I'm sorry, guys, but sending letters, you can send letters and make phone calls, and we did. I mean, we did. We flooded them, and the answer we got, we haven't heard, well, nobody's called us. You know, BS. Mm-hmm. So, you know, I'm not going to tell you what I think's going on up there. It doesn't matter. The point is, it's not getting done.
Right.
You know, God's going to do what he wants to. And if he wants to medicate America for whatever reason,
they can keep whatever it is that they want. You know what I mean? Just leave us the hell alone. Basically. I mean, come on.
Well, yeah, listen, he's got, do I really want to go here?
No, I guess somebody else that's getting ready to call in. We'll make another show that's not dedicated to how Kratom has changed people's lives. Because I got people from other platforms that are stopping in, so I want to get more people on.
Sounds good to me, man.
All right, man. I appreciate you. Keep up the good fight. And I will talk to you later or tomorrow. More likely tomorrow, because I'm going to try and keep this sucker going for a while. Get as many testimonies on as we can. Peace, man. Thank you for calling.
Thank you.
We'll talk to you later.
All right. See you later, bro.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm getting the number right back up now, guys. 207-669-8239.
See if it goes through you this time.
Yeah, I'm not sure why. You do go run over there because the phone's going to ring. And actually, yeah, look at the number that's underneath my name.
I think it's 407.
Well, that's what it says here, but the actual telephone number itself, I think I might have transcribed a number or something.
Says
Darcy. Oh, come on. Somebody call in and tell us what New and Current does. Anthony did it, but I ruined the damn thing. Anthony, if you want to call back in, the number's up there.
You got 207-669-8225.
8225. 225 is my direct line, so we don't have to keep getting up.
If it goes through.
Right. All right. You gonna call?
If I get up again.
Thank you, Jason. That was cool. Get the right number back up there. Oh, come on, Darcy. Call in, you chicken shit. Come on! Come on. Somebody call me. Everybody's going to leave now because nobody wants to call. You guys are a bunch of chicken shits. Really? I hate cameras. I have a huge fear of people. No, not people. I have a huge fear of public speaking.
Perfect.
You have a call from Jackie. Venus.
Jackie.
Caller has disconnected.
Caller has disconnected.
All right.
Oh, there. Cool. Thank you, Jackie. That one wasn't my fault. A lot of it is usually typically my fault, but that one was not. Yeah, I know. I tell you what, I've tried to do this so many times, and every time it's like, I'm like, help me. I finally said, I just got to do this and get it over with. I mean, you just got to do it. Travis, this is my son, Logan. I'm sorry. I forgot to introduce on this video. I tried to do something on another video, but yeah, this is my son, Logan.
Hi, guys.
He is, how old are you? 22. I was going to say 23, and he gets pissed at me every time because I don't know his birthday. I don't know any of my kids' birthday.
You have a call from Jackie.
Jackie, hi. She called back.
Press 1 to answer the call. Press 2 to send the call to voicemail.
I said Logan.
That's me.
Hey.
Hi, Jackie. How are you?
Hi, guys.
Hey, buddy.
Oh, hold on 1 second, okay?
No problem, baby. You have a call from... This is Secret Admirer. Press 1 to answer the call.
All right.
I don't know who that is. If you're going to call,
Press 3.
give me your name,
Call by
please.
number. Press 4 to transfer the call by name.
Hello? Hello?
Hey.
Hi, how are you? That was a weird call. I'm not sure who that was, but hey. Jackie, how are you?
Good. Sorry, here. I'm trying to turn it up so I can hear you because I can't hear you on the phone, but I can hear it on the Bluetooth.
Oh, okay.
All right.
All right. That may cause a little bit of issue for you, but that's okay.
Okay, now I got you.
You want to tell us a little something about yourself?
Yes. I'm living proof that Kratom has changed lives because my life has changed. Can you hear me okay?
Oh, yeah, we can hear you fine.
Okay. I was on methadone since 2003 up until May of last year when I got arrested. I detoxed off of it in jail. It kept me in jail for 3 months because I had a felony. I think it's the best thing that ever happened to me. I've been on methadone most of my life, and good God almighty, I've tapered again and again and again off of it. I can make it a whole 3 months, and I would be so sick I'd go right back to the methadone clinic. And when I got out of jail this time, I started going through pause again. And I can't believe I was doing this. I'm Googling Subdocs up here in Ohio. This is where I'm from.
Yeah.
And I can get a Suboxone doctor in a 24-hour period up here. It's that easy. And I swear to God, I'm searching on Google, and Kratom came up. And I was like, wait a minute. I work at a convenience store up here. We actually sell Kratom. Like, man, I got that stuff in my store.
Yeah,
and I just took it as a wild hair and decided to try it. And I knew right then my life would never be the same.
So you mean to tell me that your life changed off from Kratom that you bought from a convenience store?
Yeah, convenience store that I worked at, and now I run it.
Really?
I run it. I've never been able to do these things before, being on methadone. Jason was talking about being on Suboxone for a long time and how he felt and how you felt on it for a long time. But being on methadone, I slept all the time. If I didn't dose that day, if you didn't dose the stuff that day, you couldn't work. I couldn't get out of bed. I couldn't function. I don't know. I was on fentanyl patches in 2003, and I was at pain management. My doctor got arrested. So I ended up in withdrawal from fentanyl patches and almost died from the withdrawal. And I never forgot how sick I was. So when I got into the methadone clinic, I would do everything I could to make sure I got my daily dose every day, hook or crook, because I wasn't going to ever go through that sick again. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my life just suffered so greatly. I never made anything of myself. My life was one big circle. Go to the methadone clinic and dose. You're good enough to work for the day, so you could sleep for the day, to start it all over again the next day. One circle for years. And I'll never have to go back to that. I had the pure powder like a week later after trying what we had here in the store that I ordered from another vendor. I guess I won't say him, but I've been with him for a while now since I started. And I knew that my life would never be the same. It would never be the same.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't matter where you order from, as long as you're staying clean and you have good quality kratom, that's all we care about.
Yeah, and it's the best.
Awesome.
It's the best.
Awesome. So how you said it's been a year. What are you taking now? You come off methadone, so what are you finding is most beneficial for you? What
as
strains?
far as the kratom strain?
Yeah.
Green and white. Green and white. I'll take a full green, usually green Thai or green Vietnam, and I'll mix white with it, whatever white I have, white Borneo usually. I have energy out the ass, literally, the energy I never had before, and I work every day, and I feel great, and I'm on felony probation, and I'm in drug treatment. And I was afraid to tell my probation officer, but he's actually on my side. Because my life has changed so greatly. I was diabetic type 2. I was 59 pounds overweight. I've lost all that weight. I've reversed the diabetes. And then my doctor came on board with my kratom use when she researched it and found that it lowers your blood sugar naturally. She thinks it has something to do with my diabetes being reversed.
Oh.
So I got my doctor and my probation officer and one officer in my hometown who believes in it as well because he's watching people that he's arresting dying, from heroin overdoses.
Sure.
Yeah.
Do you think, what would the possibility that you'd be able to get him to put that in writing?
I'm on it.
All
I'm
right.
actually on it.
Cool.
He actually doesn't believe what the FDA released as far as their statements. He actually came to the store where I work and talked to me about it and said, I don't believe it. I think it's bullshit because I literally am proof in my hometown of it. If it, like you said, people didn't see you from before. Well, they did here. They saw me from before, and this is a 180 change. Everything's changed. And, like I said, I'm living proof that this stuff really works and changes lives. It's made my life, literally.
Yep.
And that FDA-approved methadone treatment, which is considered the gold standard for opiate addiction, is not the right way to go for a lot of people. Like Jason was saying, he believes in subs for like 7 days to get off. I believe in methadone for the same thing. It was never meant for me to be on for years. And they tell you this at the methadone clinic. You could be on it for life. Mm-hmm. It's okay to be a lifer. Mm-hmm. It's safe to be on. It wasn't. It was terrible. Mm-hmm. I was sick. I was tired. I was messed up. It messed up my system. My doctor said it messed up my thyroid, my liver, my adrenal system, my sugar. Everything went haywire. And now all that's been changed by this stuff. It's all been changed. So That's my story.
That's it's just crazy. I'm sorry, I'm silly. How they do this to us. I mean, I understand harm reduction 150%, but they see that. I mean, there's people driving into telephone poles 20 minutes after leaving, clinics. We lost a bunch of people up here to the point where they were actually posting cops up outside of the clinic, making sure people weren't driving. This was up in Bangor, 12, 13 years ago. And then I think they started cutting people's doses back or something. But I mean, it's typical to see people up here in Maine on 260, 340 milligrams for years. And they do nothing but, like that for 90% of the day. And, if they work and keep moving, they're all right. But as soon as they stop, they fall asleep. Like, literally. Like they have narcolepsy or something.
That would happen to me. Before I went to jail, I rolled 3 vehicles. I still can't believe I lived through each one by passing out at the wheel. I caused 3 major accidents. And when I wasn't working, if I came home, I'd literally fall asleep with a cigarette in my hand. That was at 150 milligrams. My highest dose was 220, but I brought it down on purpose. So, and I just was exhausted, and I was sick, and like my doctor said, your liver wasn't working right, nothing was working right, and add the methadone to it, and that just was like a 1-2 punch. So,
Right.
Yeah, it's safe stuff. You could be on it for life. Not. It's terrible stuff. But,
bear with me here. Go ahead, keep talking. I gotta fix something. My post isn't public. It's only on friends, so I'm not getting the other people that I was supposed to be getting. Son of a biscuit. All right. But sorry about this.
Fix what you gotta do, guys.
No, you can go ahead and keep talking.
Well, I got you live on Facebook here at the Sunoco station where I work. So.
Oh, really?
Yes, I do.
People walking in and going, what the
Just a couple people, and I closed down the station so they could stay and watch. Right from the beginning, I had it on, so because so many people know I'm on Kratom. I don't hide it. I'm not afraid of it. I'm like, this is what I am. This is what I take, and I'm just trying to put it out there because I attend drug treatment in my town. It's the only place I get any backlash for being on Kratom.
Oh, really?
My counselor's first words were, "It's not FDA approved." And I said, if I went back on methadone right now, you pat me on the back and say, "Good job." I said, "Don't tell me this. Don't tell me this." And she just parrots the FDA thing. Well, they put out a thing. I said, I can make up something on a computer too. It doesn't matter. I'm trying to explain to them. I'm sitting in front of her. She could see the huge change in me in a 7-month period, and she's ignoring it because of what she can see on the computer about what it says negatively about Kratom. So,
yeah, I mean, what you should do with that is take those scientists, that piece that the scientist wrote, because Mark is actually he's the mind scientist type of deal there. Very, very, very smart fellow. And he's one of the leading scientists. So yeah, arm yourself with that type of information and you will be amazed at the people that will actually stop and listen to you. And
I actually have it already set up. So that's good. But in my group that I attend, and it is part of probation that I go, but I never had drug treatment when I went to the methadone clinic, and I'm sure a lot of people who go to the Suboxone clinics will say the same. If you go in there and your urine's clean, you're golden.
Right.
That's it. That is all you get medicated. That is it. I paid $500 a month in private fees for my clinic. It's in Indiana. I found out recently, here I thought a hospital owned this clinic I went to. Come to find out, a pharmaceutical company actually owns it. A huge one.
Oh, yeah.
From
who else
from
do you think
England.
has money to own those things?
good Lord, have mercy. I'm like, well, pharmaceutical company owned it. I thought it was a health group trying to help me. But I lost my train of thought. But I'm trying here, and I just have to, like I try to tell other people who are taking Kratom in my town, you're the change. You have to just be the change. There was a girl in my group, that's what I was wanting to talk about. She had a heroin problem. She's having trouble. I tried to give her Kratom, and I got shut down by the counselor and her head counselor and someone else, and they frog marched me off of the property. This girl died 2 days ago. 2 days ago from an overdose.
Wow.
I knew she was in trouble. I knew she was craving. I knew this would help her. And I had to look at my counselor today and go, this could have been prevented. This could have been prevented. And it angers me and it saddens me. And we got so many people dying in my town. I live in Hillsboro, Ohio, of heroin overdoses. Literally 1 to 2 a month. 1 to 2 a month. You know, this is unacceptable to me.
Yeah.
When I hold something that can, like, save people's lives, because it saved mine.
April says hi, Logan.
April.
Yeah.
Well,
so that's my story. I'm going to let someone else call you, okay, guys?
All right. Thank you. Thank you for putting the show on your store. That's awesome.
Hey,
and thank you for
no
spreading
problem,
the
Derek.
word.
Thanks for being up there so I can talk it.
Awesome. Hope to see
All
you
right,
again
guys.
soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
All right. Whoever was calling in last time, go ahead if you want to call in. The number, I wish I didn't have to rewrite this every time. 207-669.
Can you post that comment in front?
8225. What comment?
Oh,
Yeah, I can actually. Somebody else. A bunch of people saying hi, Logan. Just
How's it going, guys?
It's like a group thing, huh? Logan, do you think my life's any better since I started Kratom?
I think it's 100 times better from what I've noticed. I mean, it was a long time ago that I, remember you not being on it, but from what I get now, I mean, you've been full of energy and up and going nonstop, more than me some days. So,
What time do I get up every day?
oh man, you like never sleep.
Well, I sleep like 4 hours a night, but
Yep. Well, you're awake when I go to sleep, and you're awake when I get up. So you can't sleep too much. 4
No.
hours maybe.
No, I don't. I mean, I don't like to sit still. I don't like to sleep. I mean, I lost a lot of time and a lot of wasted memories, and I'm trying to get this number back up there. All right, this phone was blowing up while she was on the line. So whoever was calling, give me the respect and call me back. Yeah, so the post is now public. Sorry about that. I can't control a lot of the functions from the Facebook aspect because I'm actually not on Facebook right now. I mean, I am. You guys are seeing me on Facebook, but I'm not on Facebook. Anyway.
You have a call from Anastasia. Press 1 to answer the call. Press 2 to send the call to voicemail.
It's on Base Hope Company. Hello? Oh, hold on. Hello? Oh, hi, hold on. I pressed the wrong button.
Oh, it's okay.
I suck at this technology stuff. Ah! Say your name again, please.
It's Anastasia.
Anastasia. I always call it Anastasia.
Yeah, it's the Polish version of the name. Anyways, I just happened to catch your live on Facebook, and I thought I would be bold myself to share my testimony and hopefully help encourage others to get past their anxiety and speak up, because it is so important that we speak up for Kratom and the benefits that it can do to and prevent it from being banned.
Mm-hmm. It's very important.
Sorry, I'm hearing you on the computer and there's a serious lag, so it's kind of tripping me out a little bit. But a little bit about myself. I'm 34 years old. In 2008, my son passed away, and I turned to all the wrong things. I was a former meth and opiate addict, and in 2011, I managed to quit drugs on my own. However, I was never quite myself or the same afterwards, and I turned to pharmaceuticals for help. I was on antidepressant after lots of different prescriptions and anti-anxiety meds. Nothing worked, and I was never able to regain myself. 2 years ago, right before Christmas, I did some research on natural supplements, and I also stumbled across Kratom, and after a few months of research and everything, I decided to take the leap to give it a go, and that began my journey. And a few months after that, I was able to wean myself off of the antidepressants, and I've been antidepressant free for, almost 2 years now.
Wow, that is freaking awesome.
Yeah, and again, I kind of relate to the last lady's story with like the weight gain and everything, because with the depression and everything and turning to food and other things for emotional comfort, I gained a lot of weight, and with Kratom's help and motivation and the energy that it brings, I was able to start eating better and exercising, and I've lost almost 60 pounds myself. I have a 3-year-old daughter that I'm a better mother to. I had to stop working in the midst of my depression because I just wasn't able to function and think straight on the job anymore with the antidepressants and all the meds they were shoving down my throat. And I'm now working full time again, and my life has completely regained everything that the drugs had destroyed previously. And I feel like I am a better version of myself than I ever was before. Even before all the trauma and everything, I'm more myself now, like the authentic version of myself. And just to say, like, I don't really use cream every day like I was in the beginning. It really helps get me off the antidepressants. Now I kind of just occasionally supplement with either greens or reds if I'm having issues with sleeping, or if I have a bout of anxiety for whatever reason, or stress. It's kind of a stress reliever. But and just to say, like, Kratom also opened my eyes to the other vast botanicals that are available for different healings in other areas of my body. Meridian Botanicals has been my life source, and so many things that Justin has offered through his company in helping me in a lot of areas of my life. And if it weren't for just stumbling on Kratom to begin, I wouldn't have ever been able to see what else is available out there. And I really feel like God gave us plants for healing. And he's proven the gifts that he's given us with everything that I have found. So I'm just super thankful for Kratom, and the community has been super supportive and informational, and I'm beyond grateful.
Thank you. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I'm trying to write a message, and they had somebody else call in, so
Yeah, it's good. I just wanted to hopefully, if there's anybody else out there that has a story that's listening to this live feed, I just really encourage you. It is so important to share your testimony and get the word out there so people aren't listening to all the misinformation and the bad fake media that's out there over Kratom. It's really unfortunate what's happening, and that we're having a fight for our rights to use natural medicine. But if you're out there and you're on the fence about speaking out, speak out now. Dial that phone number and get your testimony out there. You can do it. Be bold.
Yeah, please call in. I mean, that social anxiety, it sucks, but I'm finding once you just do it, like, I hate talking to people, but I've been up in Augusta, DC, New Hampshire, Florida, you just get. Yeah,
you've done amazing things for Kratom. And I'm battling social anxiety right now. I'm talking to you on the phone, but you know what? This is a cause that's worth stepping out of your box and being a little uncomfortable for a few minutes just to get your story out there. It's worth it.
Amen.
Amen. All right. Well, I'm going to jump off the phone here and let somebody else call in. But thanks, guys, for everything you're doing.
All right. Thank you. We'll see you around.
Have a good night.
You too.
Yep,
See you around town. All right, that was awesome. See, it's not that bad, you know. Just pretend like nobody's watching. Like there isn't several dozen people watching.
Just gotta use the phone. You have to look at the camera. None of that stuff.
Thanks, Jason. All right, what am I missing? I need to get the comments over here. I need help. More help than Kratom can give me. That's where I usually turn to canvas, but I'll be respectful and I won't do that on a public feed where any kid could get on, you know. Who's very busy. Oh, come on, call. This phone is like blowing up over here when there's other people on the line. 207-669. I'll remember this by the end of the night. 207-669-8225. My wife's laughing at me. Come on, Travis, call somebody, man. You got all these people here talking, you know, down there in the chat. Oh, no, I got 9 new voicemails, though.
All right. Voicemails.
I'm not calling you back. I can check the voicemail on the air if you want. No, I won't do that. All right, come on. No, Travis, I didn't say post the number. I said call. Amanda, call. Darcy's too shaken. That's Anthony calling, figures. We got a phone call from Colorado.
You have a call from Anthony Gonzalez.
Anthony Gonzalez.
Press 1 to answer the call. Press
Mr. Anthony Gonzalez.
Oh, nice. I got through. I wasn't sure if I was calling the right number.
Oh my God, I can hear you, dude.
Oh, I know, but I'm having to deal with my internet now.
Well, I don't know. I think it was mine because it takes a lot of bandwidth to bring the signal into my computer, process it, and then send it back out. I mean, I got a plenty big enough computer, but I live in a redneck state that doesn't believe in allowing me to have top end.
I'm right in northeast Kansas in the middle of nowhere. Like my entire view is a giant field and a dirt road. And we didn't even have internet available here outside of satellite until like last year.
Really?
Wow. Yeah. My download right now, 0.39. My upload, 0.13.
Holy cow. How do you...
I don't know how you watch YouTube.
Right? Like something like that?
Yeah, it's awful. But anyway, yeah, this seems to work better.
Good.
My anxiety's a little lower now, so I'm having an easier time with the phone, too.
Good. All right, so let's pretend that other show an hour and a half ago did never happen. You want to tell everybody a little bit about yourself, how you come to know, if you want to mention how you come to know me, the group the big group that you work for. We need to get this information out there, and it starts with our testimony. Oh, wait, I'm going to back up. I was talking about testimony. If you notice the shirts that I posted, I don't know. I think I posted it on my other live feed. It might be on this one. There's a little quote about testimonies on there. I want people to take a look at that and think about it. All right, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Okay, I guess I went over kind of some stuff briefly. I gave like a brief testimony before. I could go over something real quick if there's a lot of new people on that haven't heard it, or I guess they could watch the video later. Or I mean, I kind of brought up stuff about NACU, and I think we might be the largest group for Kratom on Facebook.
Yeah.
Everyone watched it grow from a couple hundred people to over 30,000 over the years.
Yep.
And the group has been evolving too, and how we handle things and how we make ourselves a part of the community. One of the biggest things we do is we help self-regulate with vendors as far as quality control, making sure things aren't adulterated, making sure everyone's using a clean sanitary room to package in, making sure they have professional packaging, and things like that. which I think protects the consumers and also protects legality, because it's when people adulterate stuff or just do messed up things in the crowd, or they have just dirty, nasty stuff that they're packing in. That does not look good for us. We need to self-regulate if we want to keep Kratom.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, our group, well, New and Current group is 30,000 plus strong, right?
Yeah, I think like last I checked was like 30,700 something.
Now, the admins generally have first interaction with unhappy customers. Do you think that if there was tainted product ever in the last 5 years, the admin would know?
Let's see. So I don't think I've gotten maybe a small handful of messages about someone suspecting a tainted product, but after investigation and stuff, it was always something else. Like every single time, it was something else.
Right. Yep.
But like nothing to do with the Kratom, the control, unless it's from some vendor I don't know or something, some shady person.
No, man, I appreciate all you guys do over at New and Current, man. It's a big group, and there's a lot of posts on a daily. I mean, I'll post something, and I'll go back 5 minutes looking, and I got to scroll for 20 minutes to find my post.
I'll proof a post and then go to answer it, and like immediately, and I'll have to scroll way down.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's very fast.
Very, very busy guy. So I appreciate everything all you guys do over there at New and Current, no matter what any of you over there think. All right, I love every single one of you, regardless of what anybody thinks. I wouldn't want your job. None of you guys get paid anything. And you doing
despite popular belief, we don't get like loads of Kratom or much Kratom at all. Like maybe a couple times a year, we'll get maybe a couple ounces of samples. It depends on if we have to vet a vendor, and that's the only time we get samples. And it's usually just an ounce or a half ounce of each strain color, and that's it. And there's no pay or anything. And no, I was glad that what the other admins do too, because I have anxiety issues and I can't be on some days. And everyone's just great about taking care of it, and it's such a large group. It's not easy to manage. And even with the amount of admins we have, we're lucky that they're all working hard and everything, and keeping that group going, because it could easily go south if it was not properly moderated.
Yep. Yeah. No, man, it's come a long way. And, to be able to, the fact that we have volunteer admin devoting so much time, energy, effort for no pay, sometimes free product. Yeah.
Not even often with that. It's just so we can kind of verify that for the other people that
I'm not gonna lie.
Hey, we want to feel like it's more than just receiving the Kratom. I want to sample the entire customer service experience as well.
Right. Yeah, well, customer service.
And if I'm going to vouch for someone, I need to know if I can vouch for them.
Right. Right. Yeah. I don't know. Just you guys. I just want you guys at New and Current to know that there are a group of us. Well, the vetted vendors. We have tried to been figuring out a way to make it so you guys are compensated for what you do, but there's like absolutely no way that we can figure out how to do it without making it look like you guys are taking what you do.
Getting compensation if we were to get someone, you don't want to be looking like shills or something, you know.
Exactly.
But I don't know, like I was seeing like how many people are getting help and seeing all these testimonies every day. I mean, like several times a week, I get brought to tears from some of the testimonies I see, and just knowing that we're helping these people and stuff just change their lives in a positive direction. That's pretty rewarding in itself.
Yeah, it is. It is. You guys take a lot of shit for it sometimes too, don't you?
Oh, constantly.
A lot of it for me too sometimes, isn't it? Sorry, guys. But it's not.
I think it's been for me before too, so it happens. Right. We've all had our ups and downs.
It's awesome. It's awesome. So how the creative community can be fun times. You can meet interesting people. some people have even gotten married from within the Kratom community because we've been around so long. You know anybody like that, Anthony? Have you ever met anybody in the Kratom community that you married, or do you know anybody?
Yeah, I met my wife in the Kratom community. I met her in your group, your and Veronica's group.
That's awesome, man.
I just started out, I just would show her goofy videos and stuff all the time. I mean, and then eventually became like best friends for a long time. For like a year or two, just best friends at the time. I was dating someone else. She was dating someone else at the time. And then stuff went south in our relationships with completely separate times and everything. And then eventually she came out to visit, and we quickly discovered that you were meant to be more than just friends.
That's awesome, man. I remember that like it was yesterday. I was like, what? I wish it would. I'm not saying that I wish you guys had waited for me to show up, but I wish it was now because I have a little bit more freedom to be able to get out there, man. I really wanted to. It made my guys' day that you guys were getting married. It sure did, and I'm proud that you guys are still doing strong, and you guys are two of the most active advocates we have out there, man, and you make our lives easier. So I appreciate everything you guys do. I really do. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Joanna was a great. We work great as a team. I mean, we have our moments like any couple, but in general, we're both on the same line of thinking and what we want to do and how we want to help and advocate for the community.
Right. Even though she's nothing but a bot. Did Joey ever tell you about those days?
Yeah. And I think you got her kicked out of a group once.
I didn't get her kicked out of a group. I did not get her kicked out of a group. She got herself kicked out of a group, and I pointed her to new and current. So I did not get her kicked out of a group. I thought somebody thought she was a bot. I don't know. My memory sucks. So, anyways, I love Joy now. She's one of my favorite people. If I really did get you kicked out of a group, Joy, I'm sorry.
I don't even think the group's active anymore. And he doesn't seem too upset about it.
Right. Man, I need a bigger screen. Honey, if you're on, can I have a bigger screen, please? No,
yeah, I just hooked my HDMI cable from my laptop to my TV so I could actually have a decent screen.
Right. Yeah, that's the way to do it. She's probably going to kick my ass for saying that. She's already helped us invest a lot of money into the setup here so I can do this stuff. But it's, getting the message out there is the whole piece. What? No. Damn it. Well, I guess I don't know.
Definitely. Yeah, I've been watching a lot of your streams, and I've been watching your viewership's growing, and that's really awesome. I mean, we can really get this going, and we can reach a lot of people potentially. Yeah. And the more people we reach, that network will extend so much faster.
Yeah.
Reaching more.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, I probably could have been doing this on a steady basis 6 months ago, but it was getting over my anxiety and my fears. Because
that hadn't happened with me. I don't know if you remember, I had a little live show I was doing for a while, but my anxiety just took over so bad, because it was like always at a scheduled time, and then I just start finding myself dreading this time I had it scheduled for and freaking out. And it's just, I don't know, I couldn't do it regularly, so now I just do an occasional video and just don't plan them. I just do it if I feel it's a day that I can.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's all we can do, right, is do the absolute best we can do. Unfortunately, not only do we have all the advocacy and just everything, controlling all the groups. I mean, I have I don't even know how many groups. I've lost track of how many groups I have. I mean, I got Travis out there doing a couple groups, and I don't even know. It's just.
Yeah, I have no idea how many groups I'm in now. It's so many. It's so many.
It's like you put keyword searching in Facebook, Kratom, and it's just astonishing how many groups I'm not in. But I'm in, I don't know, probably at least 50 groups that I know of, and I get added to them all the time.
Oh, at the very least 50.
Yeah. I remember back when it first started, stop adding us to groups, and I think everybody now is like, whatever. Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, I guess every group isn't a fit for everyone, so I can see why we could need so many groups, because maybe some people like how this group's run more than another group's run, or just feels more comfortable to them, and I could see how that could be beneficial. because it's still getting that information out.
Yeah.
And as long as they're giving out accurate information and educating people, that's my main concern.
Yeah, I mean, that's the biggest concern. I mean, because there's definitely been some groups out there that were promoting some pretty raunchy shit and not giving two rats, nothing about how it was packaged, handled, you know, it's like safety. If you're going to do this and do it in public view, you're going to do it right and not do it at all. I mean, I don't see, I hate it's hundreds of thousands, millions of people, not millions on Facebook or YouTube or Twitter. But
the community extends so much further outside of there. I mean, when I found Kratom, I found it in a bunch of message boards. Like initially the article, but when I researched it, I had to go all sorts of weird message boards all over the place. And there was just thousands of threads and boards all over the internet on just various sites. When that's where the community was previous to the social media stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's expanded a lot. I mean, I see MeWe growing every day, leaps and bounds. Minds, Adam Miller, introduced me to a platform called Minds, and that's everything. I don't know if it's just because Kratom and people are searching Kratom, but man, the platforms that I'm on, I think I'm on 14 different platforms, social media platforms. I can't keep up with it. I mean, I'm just one guy doing, I don't even know what I'm doing half the time. It's just, I'm spread thin, but we're trying. It's just trying to make sure.
I really, and I'm sure everyone else really appreciates the work that you've put in over the years. Really, I think it's made a pretty significant difference in all aspects of the community, actually. So,
well, thank you. Half the time, I'm not sure if I'm doing it right or not, but you know,
we never do until it happens.
Exactly. I mean, I remember when I first came in, everybody was not for human consumption, and I was like, "Whoa!" I started talking to, I can't remember who it was. It was a lawyer or something, and it was like, "Oh, you can't be selling it like that because you're on social media. You sell a product on social media and you're talking about how it's helping you back. You automatically know whoever's buying it is buying it for consumption. So you're lying to the FDA. It's a federal offense, or whatever it was."
And technically, it's not illegal to sell for consumption. To my knowledge, it's illegal to promote health benefits and stuff like that unless it gets approval.
Right.
And so you can have it sold for consumption, but I think nowadays you can actually give dosing instructions and everything. You just can't say, "Take this; it'll cure your addiction."
Right. Well, I mean, the whole
actually, it won't cure addiction. It'll help the withdrawal. It won't cure it. It'll help the withdrawal mentally. It's a tool, not a cure. And I think it's important. You have to still find those underlying issues behind addiction.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, nothing is a cure.
To help.
Kratom just gives us that peace of mind. I call it my Zen state, basically. I never, before Kratom, every time I tried to quit anything or better myself, for one, I mean, I'm ADHD is about they come, really. And two, I don't even know where I was going with that. No. Anyway, we just got to get the proper message out there. Oh, the dosage instructions. That's like to protect not only the consumer, but to protect the companies too. I mean, you can't be sending product to people without any instruction on it. How safe is that? I mean,
and you see all these negative media articles come out, and the first thing they say is they're taking the substance with no instructions and how to take it, and that just looks bad.
Yep.
If everyone knows what it's being consumed, at least need to give instructions. I mean, as safe as Kratom is, it's got a huge safety profile, immense safety profile. It's still important to take safety precautions, but with that, it just means if you take too much, you're going to be nauseous, you're going to get eye wobbles, maybe dizziness, and it's just very unpleasant. That's about it. But still, you don't want to be selling a product and then dosing and having that happen because they're not going to come back for more. Right? It just looks bad to the media when you're selling something and you're not even telling someone how much they're supposed to take.
That's 100%, 110%. And man, I'm going to be honest. I was guilty big time when I started DAC of being, I can't give any of that information. Are you kidding me? I can't say that. So I'm going to go create a group so that information can be given. Well, then what we found out is people are ordering, or, they just find out word of mouth. They find a web link that I've posted one of a million places or whatever. We find people are ordering and they're either not getting full benefit from it because they're either taking too much the first time or not taking enough. So we found
too much, too little, the wrong strain.
Yeah, it's everybody's body is different. You want to explain that a little bit? You're way better at the whole chemical makeup of Kratom. If you want to go into, I don't know, maybe the profile of, I don't know.
I can go over a basic thing. I don't have a lot of my papers with me, but I do have a decent amount of it memorized. I mean, a lot of it just, you're going to know that. I'll say it for anyone that doesn't.
Right.
It's mainly two things for pain. It's going to be metrogene and 7-hydroxymetrogene. 7-hydroxymetrogene is the stronger of the two. However, it's a very, very, very minute amount of it. And then in addition to that, it's got calcium channel blockers. And I need to make a distinction. They're not calcium blockers, calcium channel blockers. They open the arterial walls and help lower blood pressure. And there's several of those in there. I don't have the names of those. I don't think I can pronounce them.
No,
but
I can't.
I mean, it's all sorts of just great things. And what's interesting about it is they synergize with each other. Like if you were to isolate any one of those and try to take it, it's not going to be as effective as if you just take it as a whole. Like that's why a whole leaf, you get that full spectrum. And that's what's most effective. Like even extracts and stuff, those aren't as, they're stronger because in some ways, but you don't get that full spectrum help. Just need the pain aspect and maybe some relaxing effects, but nothing else. It's going to help with withdrawal too, but it also increases your tolerance really bad. So it's just not something you want to use for that unless it's like something really acute.
Right. Right. Yeah. And the whole extract thing has really gotten a lot of people confused, I think. I mean, I don't want to. It's kind of a touchy subject for me because, like, Adrian Pruitt, man, I love that guy, and I've seen him change from Kratom, and extracts is what he needed in the beginning. And, I think he still takes some occasionally. And, man, I tell you, I just there's points with the business that I try to encourage, discourage, and I understand some people. I think there's not as many people out there that need the extracts as there is. But in my opinion,
I think even people in chronic pain won't necessarily need it, except on certain days if they're having a flare. They might need a little extract that day.
Right.
And if extract is best to take just a little bit, like not even a full dose, and then take your other kratom and then add that to it so you can get the full spectrum of the alkaloids and get most benefits from it. And that way you're not taking quite as much extract and you're still getting that added effect.
Right. See, I think extract has its place. I think it, as far as medicinal, oh my God, I just freaking called Kratom medicinal. Shit. As far as medicinal value goes, the extract is where it's going to need to be because that's the only way we're really going to be able to control the alkaloid profile.
Right.
Know exactly what's going on.
And I believe you can, extract processes can be patented. I know the kratom plant itself can't be, and I could be wrong about this. I'm pretty sure I'm not, though. But you can patent a good extraction process and stuff like that. But I'm just very mixed on my feelings about extract. There's positives and negatives. The extracts do have more, addictive qualities to them. It's still not going to be like, opiates, opioids, stuff like that. But it's going to be more so than just the plain leaf. And also, it just jacks up your tolerance so fast. So you just end up having to take more kratom. And that's why I think if it's going to be used, it should be used very sparingly and only if absolutely needed.
I agree 100%. And honestly, I think the process to make your own extract at home is so easy. Or at least easy.
Yeah, that's what I do when I need an extract. I just do like a basic resin or a basic powder extract, or sometimes I'll make a tincture if I have some time and some extra kratom on my hands.
Right. Now, for making my own extracts, I find that the crushed leaf works best.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Like by far, actually, in my experience.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like making mud. Making that mud is horrible, and it doesn't come out.
And it's hard to squeeze through the filter. Like the leaves are much easier, the crushed ones too, to get through. So you end up losing a lot.
Yeah, it's not the proper way to do it. And what do you think about the profile on the leaf? You know, a crushed leaf and the powder in the tea. Do you think it's better to use a crushed leaf or a powder for the tea that you drink? Probably the same thing as a crushed leaf.
For tea, I would have to say crushed leaf all the way.
Yeah.
Actually,
a lot of people are still trying
personally, I just found it more effective. And crushed leaf tends to last longer. Not that Kratom has a short shelf life; it can last for years. But the crushed leaf will last a little longer.
Right.
Actually, too, as far as staying good.
Yeah. Now about the shelf life, man, I tell you, I found Kratom from like. You remember when the Dayak was? I got those. I think they were 2 inches wide by 3 inch long, clear plastic bags. You know that shit that I bet you about now. I found some from that in a dark, dry drawer, and it was still good. I mean, I didn't even really notice much of a difference at all. So I think that shelf life is going to be really long for Kratom.
I would say if it's stored properly, it can easily be stored like 4 or 5 years easily. Yeah. Like I thought, probably much longer than that, even possibly stored right.
Longer. I mean,
I've stumbled on some Kratom after 3 or 4 years, and it's perfectly good.
Yeah, we've had people post pictures of finding this stuff a couple of years, a year, 2 years. I can't remember what the last one was. I think the last one was 2 years, and they said that it was good, especially because we.
I think I saw something like that the other day. They had your old packaging.
Yeah.
By the way, love the new packaging so much.
Do you?
It just looks so nice and professional, and doesn't look anything like what's being sold in your basic head shop that carries all the big head shop brands and stuff like that.
Right.
I just think it looks much nicer, and it's got a lot of good information on it. And I think packaging's important. Because the presentation of Kratom is important. We need to keep up appearances.
Yep. I'm seeing more of a transition with smoke shops lately in the last year with the packaging. Actually, I think not the problem, but what's going on is they're finding people like us to buy wholesale from, and some of them are repackaging themselves, which isn't always. I try to discourage it, but if they're going to buy wholesale, then I don't really know what else to do because I know that they're getting clean product. You know what I mean? When I send it to them, they're getting clean product. We know that, so then I know that they're more likely taken out.
But once it goes into their hands, you can't really say for sure if they're going to keep it that way.
Yeah. So I mean, I
would assume they typically would, but I'm sure there's instances where maybe they wouldn't too.
But I mean, my theory is you go into the Shop and Save, it's a grocery store. That's the place around here, Shop and Save. But you go into a grocery store and you can go over to the coffee canister, the raw beans, turn the little dial, and get a pound.
Right. That would be great, actually. Right. That'd be really wonderful. I'm sure they've got them to keep everything airtight and stuff. They just have to keep them dark on the outside so light doesn't get in. But yeah, that'd be great.
Stop giving out ideas. None of that now. I'm just kidding. All right, man. It was good talking to you, brother. Is there anything else you want to add?
It was good talking to you. I think I covered good amount of stuff, and we covered a lot of things together. And I think I just want to say thank you for having me on. Thank you for putting the show on and helping educate and advocate for Kratom. And thank you for everything you do.
Thank you, man.
Much appreciated.
It's my pleasure, and my life depends on it just as much as yours. So everything I do, I'm being greedy in a way, not really, because I don't know. I just wish people could actually see how we lived. And because, man, we get messages sometimes asking for a lot of shit sometimes, and we really overextend ourselves sometimes. And anyway, going to get me going on a whole nother subject. Brother, I love you. And thank you for sticking with us this whole time. I'm hoping to get Adrian on the phone. So,
oh yeah, I think I saw in the chat that he's waiting on there.
Oh,
So.
good. Adrian, call me, brother. I really would love to hear from you on this.
Yeah, I haven't heard from Adrian in a long time, actually.
Yeah, I talked to him this morning. I get a little secret coming up I can't expose yet. All right. But hey, go ahead, jump
on.
on.
It was good talking to you. Thanks for having me on again.
Anytime. We will see you around soon.
All right, man.
All right.
I'll be around as always.
Peace, man. That was a good conversation. All right. Adrian. 207-669-8225.
Use the restroom and grab a drink. I'll be right back. Yep. Screw out of here real quick.
Not a problem. So yeah, I think this is going relatively good. I basically wanted to get going and get into the groove of being able to talk to people because, I mean, you guys seen a lot of my other videos and you'll notice a lot of them. I'm scatterbrained, man. I have a hard time with this stuff. But for some reason, people like to watch and follow or whatever. And at least there's somebody out there getting the message out without trying to censor too much stuff. Oh, Joy, I love Anthony too. I'm not seeing it.
You have a call from
Adrian.
press 1 to answer the.
Adrian, my brother from another mother. How are you today?
Good, good. What's going on?
You see it. Living the life. Trying to. You know, everybody thinks it's glamorous, but y'all realize that it's 10 o'clock at night. My wife and kids are home at a different location, and I'm at work all night long, so I can help spread the message. So, how are you doing, Adrian? Are you going to share how Kratom has changed your life with us?
Sure, I'd love to. First off, I got a comment. What's going on with the purple light? Like it's throwing off my eyes.
Is it? Well,
especially with purple light and the camo.
Because it makes things pop up. I mean, I can turn it back off, but it's really bugging me that bad. Logan, well, actually, I don't have a light right above me. Oh, wait, I can turn it on.
It's all right. I know you're like a hippie, so
Yeah.
You need it.
Well, I'm waiting on studio lights. I just got to buy. I'm building the studio piece by piece because obviously we're not rich and we do what we can. And so I need some studio lights. So I just put these black lights up, and I got black light posters everywhere. Yes, I'm a hippie. You got a problem with that?
Nope, not at all.
Well, no. All right, brother. Go ahead. Tell us your story.
There you go.
So you want me to start from the beginning? Or
Yes, absolutely. Start right from the beginning. You have an important story, man, and people need to hear it.
So I'll try to hit the highlights because we're talking about, 10 years? So November 2007, I wound up getting a small pain in my left wrist, still unexplained as to why. By December of that year, that pain had spread to both my arms, both my legs, had me pretty much locked down in bed 24/7. Spent the next year going to specialists all over California, Texas, trying to figure out what was the cause of it. And through that time, I just slowly, actually pretty quickly became pretty much crippled, for lack of a better word, paralyzed at times to where I couldn't feed myself. I couldn't get out of bed. I couldn't dress myself. I couldn't do anything. So fortunately, I have a very good wife, Amber. And we had only been married about 10 months when I got sick. And she has
stood by my side throughout the whole ordeal. And by, let's see, was it, I think 2009? Yeah, I want to say it was 2009. I wound up in my first wheelchair. Well, I went from a cane to a walker to a push wheelchair to a power wheelchair to a $25,000 wheelchair. And by 2011, I was medically retired from my career, which was pretty much devastating for me because it's what I loved. It's what I made my whole life about. And I almost wound up becoming homeless because, you know, when you lose a career after almost 20 years and that financial income, I think I went from about $8,000 a month to about $1,000 a month. So that's it was a huge transition. Almost wound up on the streets. Somehow, by the grace of God, we were able to hold on, and the support of friends and family, and my wife fighting for benefits. But so I spent the next 4 to 5, almost 5 years, 4.5, 5 years in my wheelchair. And when I was in my wheelchair, I didn't leave my house very often. I was in bed 24/7 for just over 9 years total. I was at a point where I was taking about 60 to 80 pills a day of mainly narcotics, some psychotropic medications, some benzodiazepine for, just anxiety, not being able to sleep. And it was definitely a long emotional roller coaster. And so I was in California, went back to Texas. I was just moving around the country trying to seek out medical care after being on ungodly amounts of pharmaceutical medications for years, which was slowly killing me and making my physical situation a lot worse, my mental situation, my emotional situation. We decided to move back to California with the intention of trying medicinal marijuana to help alleviate some of the pain, to help me with sleeping. I wasn't eating very well. I was pretty much living off Cheetos and Pepsi and Oreos, and just because they were simple, it was high energy food, enough to keep me awake a couple hours a day. I wound up missing out on probably most of the first 5 years of my 9-year-old's life. I don't remember a lot of his early days of childhood, just mainly from the heavy doses of medication I was on. I started out with Tylenol 3, worked up to the Percocets, to the Oxycontins, to the morphine, to the fentanyl patches. At one point, I was wearing 3 fentanyl patches per 72-hour period, anywhere from 25 to 50 mcgs. I don't know what the dosing is on it. I just know it's rather high.
Wow.
It was at that point when I was applying 3 patches every 3 days. Even the doctor was like, I've never seen anybody even be able to function or handle that level of medication and still be in the amount of pain that you're in. So I'm really not even sure God had his hand in pulling me through that and keeping me alive during that period. There was several times during those 9+ years where, suicide was constantly on my mind, and not because I wanted to die, but just because I wanted to escape the severity of pain that I was living with every day, to escape the emotional loss of what I lost in my career, my ability to be with my family. And, I was home with them every day, but I wasn't mentally present with them. Like I said, missing most of my 9-year-old's early childhood and just having no memories of it. It's almost just like a blank space for me. And my wife we now have a 5.5-year-old and a newborn, and we'll be talking about something they're doing. And she'll say, remember when our 9-year-old did that? It's hard because I say, no, I just don't know what you're talking about. So then, of course, you're dealing with the physical stuff, emotional, mental, and I know I keep hammering that because it's such a big factor in dealing with chronic pain and taking pharmaceutical medications, and then you start dealing with financial issues and all the things that come along with loss of employment and ability to contribute to your family. So we moved to California to try MMJ. I got my state license. That was a really hard transition for me, being in law enforcement prior to getting sick. You know, I was a guy busting people for street narcotics, and marijuana was one of them before it became illegal in certain states. And so I spent a lot of my early law enforcement days going after people that were dealing with things as simple as marijuana. You know, I wasn't educated about it from a medical side. I was just from a young 20-year-old cop, you know, hearing what we're trained and seeing the things that we see on the street level. So I moved to California with the intent of getting a license to try marijuana, to try to transition off my pharmaceutical medications. It was a huge, probably a 2-year struggle for me mentally, and trying to come to terms with what I was learning from a new perspective from what I had been taught and dealt my whole law enforcement career. So I get to California, I'm doing the medical marijuana, but there were things that it did help me with, you know, such as sleeping, at times eating a little better, relieving some of the pain. But unfortunately, it impacts me very strongly, and so it's just not something I could maintain because I couldn't get off the couch. I mean, when I consume marijuana, I'm so out of it. And, it's just really, it makes me unable to do anything except eat Cheetos and cookies and candy. And, you know, after doing that for a couple of years, I probably put on, I think I was 175. I was pretty healthy. You know, I used to run long distance, a few marathons, ocean kayaking, mountain climbing. So I was a pretty active guy, and so I went from doing that to doing nothing. So I got up to about 225, and for me, you know, I'm carrying around 60 pounds of extra weight. It's not helping my physical situation either. So in California, we decided to move to Oregon because I heard, you know, they had some of the best medical marijuana in the country, and there were some other alternatives there. And I've always wanted to live in the state because I heard it was a beautiful place. So I made that move in September of 2013. Yeah, my dates sometimes get mixed up. And it was actually my neighbor, because transitioning to a new VA, and at that time I was still on some of my narcotics and taking Valium as well. And, you know, the VA is always trying to give you stuff because they give you something for sleep, and then they give you something to wake you up, and then they give you something for the anxiety or the stress of dealing with your situation, and they want to give you something for the pain. And then, of course, you start bringing depression into that. They want to start giving you medication for depression. Then you become too happy, so they're giving you medication to slow you down, and so all of a sudden you're back in that mixture of medication, which when taken individually they may be beneficial, but then when you start mixing 10 to 15 different prescriptions a day, you know, they start impacting you and causing changes in your physical state and your emotional state, and just the way you process life. And so when I made the move from California to Oregon, like I said, the VA didn't have my records, so of course I didn't get my narcotics refill, and I was starting to go into withdrawal. And I've been in withdrawal before by choice, because over those 9 years I've, you know, taken myself off some of the harder stuff, just in an attempt to see if I can manage my quality of life to be better and to not be damaging my body, taking that amount of medication on a daily basis, 365 days a year. And my neighbor, he's he's actually a big time drug addict. He was doing heroin and crack and smoking a lot of pot. And he's like, hey, I know you don't want to mess with this other stuff, but have you heard of this thing called Kratom? And I said, nope. You know, I don't even know what that is, but if it's going to help take these withdrawal symptoms away from me, I'll try whatever. So he had actually turned me on to, it's sold in a head shop. It's in a gold packaging, Captain something. I don't remember the name of it.
Kratom.
Yeah, Captain Kratom, and it's like 28 or 30 capsules for $50.
Yeah.
And,
They shut down now. Well, I think there's a new Kratom, but yeah, they got shut down back not long after I started in 14, I think, 13.
Yeah, so that was my first exposure to Kratom, and it did help me deal with the withdrawals until I could get my medication refilled. So then it just became something that I kept on hand, just that Captain Kratom capsules. And I was like, man, I can't afford this. You know, I'm living on a disability income, and I got to figure out a better way to get this stuff. So I started going through different vendors, and, you know, eventually came across, which, you know, is now Tandem Bay Soap Company, but it was different back then, and found their group on Facebook through another friend. And even though I was trying their product, you know, I like to try to find the best deal, so I went direct to Indonesia myself a couple times, dealing with different farmers, and fortunately I think I got, you know, some pretty decent stuff compared to what you could get. I'm not saying it was quality, I'm just saying it's decent compared to some of the stuff that I could have gotten, especially these days and ages with farmers reaching out through Facebook Messenger. And I actually had to send this kilo to my mom in Alabama and then have her send it to me. And, you know, at that time my mom was in her early 60s, so she was a little bit freaked out about what I'm sending her, but she knew that I was looking for alternatives to try to get help for myself. And so, of course, she did it. And my wife was like, what are you doing, you know? And about through these couple months that I was trying out different vendors, trying to source Kratom directly, because I'm thinking, you know, if I go direct and get the best possible product, I can get it at a cheaper price that I can afford, because like I said, I'm on a fixed income. So if I'm going to buy Kratom, then I have to sacrifice something else, whether it's for my wife or my kids or my household. And I'd already lost a lot financially through foreclosures with properties and other things from, you know, not being able to work and live the lifestyle that I was once accustomed to. So, of course, I came across Derek and then Veronica. And so from October of 13 to present, you know, I started just trying different strains and different dosing, and things were slowly starting to get better. I was cutting back on the medications, and it was, I want to say September or October of 20, was it 15 or 16? Might have been 16, I think. And so from 15 to 16, I spent a lot of time talking to Derek on the phone, and him just listening to me basically be broke down and crying in tears of, I can't keep living like this. I can't keep dealing with this pain. I'm not, you know, some of the strains are working, but they're not maintaining a steady balance for me. You know, it's kind of a roller coaster situation. And so he was working with me specifically, trying out stuff that he wasn't even selling through the company, but just trying out different products from where he was sourcing. And because of that, you know, and because of Veronica's dedication to support my wife and my family, and, you know, encouraging Amber and Derek encouraging me, and people in the group encouraging me. I know a lot of people in the group probably have no idea who I am now, because there's so many new people, and I haven't really been active in this past year in the group or on Facebook in general. And I'm getting to the reason why here. But it was because of, you know, Dak and the Connor family and people in the Dak Chill Spot group, you know, just giving support and encouragement, and just being there to watch me go through my highs and lows, and still dealing with the, you know, severe levels of pain, and trying different products. And just because I have a desire to not give up and not quit, even though there are days I've wanted to give up, you know, but that's pain-induced chronic pain wanting to give up, not Adrian Pruitt wanting to give up. So from 15 to 16, you know, I was working through that, and I finally got to the point in September of 16, the VA says, hey, cutting everybody off their pharmaceutical medications, and like tomorrow. So here's 3 days supply, and we know you've been taking this heavy dose. And fortunately, I've had
from 13 to 16 of trying different vendors, trying different strains, trying different dosing. So I knew that it would work. I just still wasn't fully 100% committed to it. One, because I'm spending money out of my pocket that I really don't have, and two, I'm still getting the pharmaceutical medication. So for me, it was also a big mindset transition as well to say, okay, 5 times of withdrawal is enough. Continuing to damage my body and add to my increasing pain is enough. Being so out of my mind to miss my kids growing up or not being present with my wife is enough. And so out of a desire to find medical care, because we were living in Oregon on the West Coast, there weren't medical companies there, and the doctors and nurses didn't really work well with my insurance. So we decided to move back to Colorado, where my wife's from, December of 16. And the month prior to that, I said, okay, that's it. I'm just going to stop looking to modern medicine, stop looking to pharmaceutical companies, stop looking to these teams that tell me they can do all this stuff, but no one's doing nothing. No one's still, after over 9, almost 10 years now, has yet to figure anything out. Actually, yeah, over 10 years, almost 11 years, 10 and a half years. I said, that's it. I'm just going to go strictly with Kratom, and I'm going to look at alternative means of healthcare and look at what I'm eating, changing my diet. I'm not talking getting all radical and giving up everything I love. My wife would love me to do that, but that's just not me. You know, I have to enjoy some of my life. So, and then starting to exercise. You know, a lot of people that deal with chronic pain, and I get it, it's like I can barely get up and function, so I can't even think about trying to go for a walk around the block or trying to go swim in the pool or walk on a treadmill or sit on a bicycle. But when we got to Colorado in December of 16, I says, January, I'm going to start exercising. I don't know how. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know how I'm going to manage it, but I'm going to force myself to do it. I'm already in pain. I'm already suffering. I finally found some good strains of Kratom and dosing that works for me. I've been with Kratom, or Tandem Bay now, since October, November of 13, so 4.5 years. And I said that I'm going to adjust my diet, and I'm just going to stay focused and dedicated with the intention of, if I can get myself better on some level, even if it's instead of a pain level of 8 or 9, I'm at a pain level of 5 to 6 or 7. That's a hell of a lot better than what I live every day of 8 or 9 on a good day and plus 10 on a bad day. And if I could ever get down to 3 or 4, well, shoot, to me, that would be paradise, and that would be worth whatever sacrifice I needed to make. So in January of 17, I found a company called Fly Life Fitness here in Colorado Springs, and they do kind of this, it's called a Megaformer, and it's a no-impact machine, and it looks like you're doing nothing, but it's like one of the most painful things I've ever done physically. Oh yeah, it's a weighted resistance system. It's kind of like an advanced Pilates on steroids on a machine. So you're not lifting weights, and you're not putting pressure on your joints and your bones, and you're just using the balance of your body and tension and different moves and techniques to build strength and get your core strength up and get your balance back. And when I first walked in there, I think I was either on my walker was in the club, but I walked in on my cane, and I was limping and kind of hunched over, and I met with the owners, and I said, look, I don't have any money, but this is my situation in a nutshell. This is what I'm trying to do. I'd like to try out your program, and then maybe we can work something out. And I talked to them for a couple of hours, went over all my medical stuff, and they said, okay, well, let's talk about it and get back to you. And, I was like, okay, I had nothing to lose by going to ask. And
Right.
so they were just they are some amazing people. And this is okay, well, we're going to spend 3 months with you, and we'll start. These classes are about 50 minutes a class, and some people do them a couple times a day. Some people do them 5 days a week. And my first class was 3 or 4 minutes, and I was practically in tears at the end of that time. I couldn't hardly breathe. I was about just over 225 to 230, and I'm 5'11", so I was carrying around, it wasn't any muscle, it was pretty much all fat. And they said, well, how do you feel? Do you want to come back? I said, yeah, I'll come back tomorrow. They're like, well, why don't you come, give yourself a break. And so over the period of the next 2 months, I went from 3 minutes to 5 minutes to 7 minutes to 10 minutes, and I got to 12 minutes. And then by month 3, I was at about 15 minutes. And they're like, well, why don't you come to a class and just do what you can do. And so, I slowly worked my way up over it took me about 6 or 7 months to get to do 40, 45 minutes. And I was doing the beginner class the whole time, but I was taking Kratom while I was doing this exercise. At the same time at home, I said, that's it. I'm cutting out all sodas and all chocolates and all the stuff that I love. And I'm just going to try to eat more portion on a better schedule, a little bit healthier. I'm not going like all cottage cheese, hard-boiled eggs, and salads and tuna fish. I mean, some of that was part of my diet, but I said I'm just going to try to cut out all the fast food, cut out all the fried food, just try to eat normal, home-cooked food. And I wasn't worried about how much sugar or fat or cholesterol or none of that stuff. I was just trying to get a basic, simple, enjoyable diet down for me. And before, I never would have talked about these things, but after spending the last year with an adjusted diet, with Kratom, being off all pharmaceutical medications, changing my mindset, having the encouragement of my wife and my boys and the Connor family and several other close personal friends, this year, for those of you that don't know, you can Google it on the internet if you're not familiar with Colorado Springs or Manitou Springs, and Manitou in Colorado. It's right next to Colorado Springs. There's a thing called the Incline, and it's basically a bunch of steps that go straight up the side of the mountain up the base of Pikes Peak. And I told my boys in the spring, I says, hey guys, let's try walking every day. We'll just walk whatever we can walk. And some days I was out there with the cane. Some days I was out there with my walker. Some days my 5 and 9-year-olds were holding me up, and I didn't want to do it, but they were encouraging me to get out there and do it. And just changing my diet, the exercise, the mental determination, my own willpower, the support system, because all of these keys are going to be an impact on getting our lives back. I see a bunch of people coming into the group like, oh, Kratom's going to save me, and Kratom has saved me, but I'm still dealing with all this. Well, Kratom is just one piece of that puzzle. Just like medical marijuana is one piece of that puzzle. And for some people it works. For me, I just didn't like the side effects, so it's just something I chose not to do. Not condemning anybody that uses it. I think it's great. I wish it worked for me the way it works for others, but it's just not an option for me. So it's a choice, I chose not to pursue. But Kratom has been a key factor in getting me to where I'm at. So this summer, me and my boys, we hiked the incline here in Colorado and Manitou, and I thought I was going to die going up there. I thought I was going to die coming down, but we did it. In September, I ran a 5K, which...
Wow. Really?
It's been 12 years since I've run an actual race of any sort, and 3 or 4 years ago, it was something I had long given up hope on.
Yeah.
Ever being able to get out there and do it. And I think I did it in, I don't know, maybe 32 minutes. And it was painful as hell. I just took my Kratom beforehand.
Finished though, right? That's all that matters.
Yeah, I finished it, and I was in tears coming across the finish line. Everybody was looking at me. It was a police 5K, so of course it's all a bunch of hardened cops, and like, what's going on with this dude? And I didn't care. For me, it was just a joyous thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy what Kratom will give us back. It really is. I mean, and it's not, and like you said, it's a tool. It's not a cure-all, but it gives us that it's a piece of the puzzle. You know, I gave up. I'll say it right now. I gave up snowboarding 12 years ago. I went snowboarding. The last time I went was 10 years ago, and I couldn't do it. I mean, I could snowboard, but you know, the pain that even just bending my knees a little bit was unbearable. Well, I'm going to Colorado, as I told you this morning, and I'm going to shoot some footage with Joshua and Tyler on the mountain. We're going to Colorado Springs. So, man, Adrian, I cannot wait to get to finally meet you, man. It's awesome, man. I'm looking forward to this trip. I really am. Meet a bunch of people that I haven't seen forever.
You know, and I want to say Kratom is a springboard to getting a better quality of life back, and then it's a maintenance tool to maintaining that quality of life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, back in August, I started volunteering with my local police department again. You know, a lot of my buddies are like, hey, you coming back to work? You gonna get back in the game? And I'm like, no, I'm just enjoying what I'm doing. So I volunteer, you know, 1 day a week, sometimes a couple days a week, because I don't want to make getting a new career my focus right now, because fortunately, I got medical retirement from my career, so I do have that source of income, so we're blessed there. It took a few years to get that all worked out after almost 5 years, but I'm looking at getting back into school to go back to finish my education so I can get along to my dream of being a high school teacher. It's always something I wanted to do. You know, I take my boys to school every day. I pick them up sometimes during the week. You know, I still have days that, you know, it's not some miracle thing that I change my diet, I start exercising, I take Kratom, and my life's 100% better. I still have really bad days. I have days that I still spend a lot of hours in bed. But the difference is now is my mindset of, yeah, I've been in bed for the last 18 hours, and maybe tomorrow I'll get out of bed. But you know what? Yesterday, I walked with my boys for a mile, and we went to the park, and I took them to school, and I went and volunteered for a few hours at the police department, and I'm starting to work on my book to share the details of the last 10 years of my life, and a lot more detail of some of the struggles and some of the scary times, and in hopes to encourage other people to say, here's my story, and it's a raw story that I'm just going to put out there, and I'm not looking to get rich or famous, but I'm looking to give hope and inspiration to others, because it was because of people that were giving me that encouragement along that path, I got to where I'm at, you know. And I'm now in the point of, I have no idea what tomorrow's going to bring. I have no idea if in the next hour I'm going to be able to walk. I've done a lot today, so I'm pretty wore out. I'm in a lot of pain, and Kratom isn't taking all that away, but it's, you know, neither did the pharmaceutical narcotics. They never took it all away.
Right.
They alleviated it, but they also took me out of the game to where I wasn't present and living my life and enjoying my kids and being aware of what was going on around me. Whereas with Kratom, it's given me all those things. And like I said, I'm volunteering, I'm exercising, I'm active. I've lost 50 pounds in the last 13, 14 months.
Right. That's awesome.
I'm working to get back into school. I finally started working on my book, something I've always wanted to do. And I have a whole bunch of goals. We had a new baby last October, and whereas with the last two, I couldn't even hold them in the hospital when they were born because I was in so much crippling pain. I was afraid I was going to drop them. You know, my skin was burning and tingling and bones crushing. And now with this one, I can actually hold him for an hour or two in total throughout the day, and I can feel him without feeling it through the burning and the bone crushing and the excruciating pain. And I'm aware, and I'm sharing and watching him grow up, which I miss with my 3 older boys. And so with all this stuff coming down the pipeline, it scares the ever-living hell out of me. But I refuse to live in fear anymore, and I just have to stay positive, and I just have to stay encouraged, and I'm not going to go try to stop 5 kilos or 10 kilos because it's only going to be a short-term thing anyway.
Right. Well, I mean, this is the thing, and this is why it's so important that people get over their fears and anxieties of talking about this put aside the fears of saying the wrong thing, put aside, everything, and just get the testimony out there. It's absolutely great to hear this testimony, Adrian. I know we were supposed to get you in DC. You had some promises made. If I had known that it was going to be handled that way, I would have made sure you'd gotten there ourselves. But your story is right up there with one of the top ones that need to be heard, in my opinion.
I've got my medical records to show where I was at. I've got pictures to show where I was at,
yep,
and pictures to show where I'm at today, and people to say, look, I'd given up on life. I thought my life was over before Kratom, Even once I found Kratom, the process of trying to figure it out, I still didn't have the faith and belief that, it was going to get me to where I'm at today. I was still hesitant because I had 10 years of letdown. You kind of quit believing in things. But like I said, in the last couple of years, I said, that's it. I need to start changing my approach to things. And I did that, not all on my own and not like I'm some superhero. It took me a couple of years to get there. I'm just on the other side of that now, and I'm at a new beginning in my life. So I would love to sit down with anybody. I have no secrets to hide, because this is my last chance of hope in life. So I'm not going to risk, I'm not afraid to, it's all or nothing for me. If I lose this, I don't know what else I don't know what else there is for me. I know it's waiting for me, so when I see the director of the FDA saying, oh, you need to go to the safer route of the opioid treatment management program or Suboxone or methadone or Suboxone, I know what that life's like. I've already been there, and it was becoming the death of me. Kratom has become the life of me. That's why I know people have anxiety. I know they have fear. I know they have kids and families, and so do I. And I was and I'm around law enforcement, around the military, and around security levels. But you know what? If we lose Kratom, we lose the life that we have. And I know for one, I'm not willing to do that. So whatever it takes, I'm in. And I can talk to anybody, whether it's one person, one-on-one, a room of people, an auditorium of people, the Congress, Senate, doesn't matter to me.
Awesome, man. I appreciate it, man. We all appreciate it. It's keep coming back. Thank you. I had lots of words for everything that you went through prior to finding Kratom, in the struggles that you have gone through while finding Kratom, but knowing that it's still beneficial and that it does make that difference, in realizing that it's not a cure, but it does help that mental mindset. And that's what it does for me. And there's times that there is not a question in my mind that if it wasn't for Kratom, I would probably be divorced. And if I was divorced, I'd definitely be dead. Edward wouldn't be born. There's just all kinds of things. And it's not because I'm addicted to Kratom now and I have to have it. That's not the case at all. My life is 110 times better. Not my life, but my mind and my life is 110 times better. I'm not going to lie. It's just, it works. It really does work. And when people realize that, if you really, 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 really want to quit opiates and 110% that you are ready, then Kratom will work.
Right.
110%.
It's not that, like you said, it's not that I'm addicted to Kratom, but I'm addicted to the life that Kratom has given me.
Right.
And I don't want to ever.
You
I already lost that, so I know.
You would have been on those drugs anyways all your life, but by the time you were 70, you'd be on like 17 or 30, probably different prescriptions, and you might have been walking, but you'd definitely be broke.
And then you guys know, October 16, I was an hour away from ending my life. And I've got an amazing wife and amazing kids, and I'm blessed in so many areas. Doesn't mean we don't have tough days and we don't struggle, but I was that close not too long ago, you know, and I actually went to interview with another police department, and I was honest with them on my psych eval. I said, you know what? Yeah, suicide's crossed my mind, and here's why. And yes, I've had these issues, but it's because of this pain that I've had to overcome. And they're like, oh, well, we can't bring you if you've had thoughts of suicide. And I'm like, wait a minute. I'm sitting here, I'm being real with you, I'm being honest with you. So there's things I want that I'm still losing because I'm being legitimately open, but I'm at the point of I don't care because if that's just falling through the cracks and not working out for me, then there's a reason for it and there's something better waiting for me in another direction. I just have to find out and figure out what that is. And that's what I've been pursuing since then. But in a year, 18 months, if even that, I went from being at the end of my rope to wanting to give up permanently everything to where I'm at today. And like I said, it's not that I got here by myself. It's been with a whole lot of people and a whole lot of support and encouragement, Kratom being a huge factor in that. And I'm willing to do whatever it takes, and I hope that I can have contact with the right people to maybe influence some decisions that are coming, because the decisions those people in Washington are making, for me, it's life and death. And I know the death is right around the corner if it's taken away, and I know that's a lot. That's the same situation.
Well, if the government will put you on the front lines and let other people shoot at you, they better goddamn well listen to you when you have something to say about finding something that helps all that shit that they put you through.
Right. It's like, I'm going to die for you. I've almost died for you. I've sacrificed my body for you. I'm trying to live my life peaceably and be a contributor positively to my community and our youth. And you're telling me I can't have this because money or politics? You're not concerned about me. You weren't concerned about me when I almost ended my life from the chronic pain and overdose of prescription narcotics. So,
I don't know. We'll get it. I'm going to do everything I can, brother, to make sure you get a meeting with somebody that will listen. We'll get it out there. We're capping it, man.
I know I've talked a lot, and I apologize for tying everything up. I just want to encourage everybody that's is on Kratom, not because they want it recreationally, but because it's given us a better quality of life. As afraid as you may be, or as nervous or uncomfortable, find a way to share your story, whether it's, through doing something like this, whether it's through writing, whether it's through art, whatever you feel comfortable in expressing yourself. If our stories aren't heard, because I know I'm not the only story like this, I know thousands of people that share similar roads that I've been on. We all need to find a way to get that out there.
Yep, I agree, man. Thank you. Well, you have a great evening. Give your wife a hug and the kids a hug, and I will talk to you tomorrow, brother.
All right, sounds good.
All right.
Thanks, everybody.
Love you, man. Peace. Well, that was Adrian Pruitt, another member of the Kratom community, going on 5 years now. That's the great thing about the Kratom community on Facebook. Reddit's all right. There's some groups on Reddit where you have the support of other people, emotionally. But the problem with Reddit is nobody really knows who anybody is. So it's easy to make up fake accounts. And you can pretty much say whatever you want on Reddit and get away with it. Facebook, it's more real. I mean, we kind of tend to know who's joining our groups. But after that, it's support, man. You have support. I can get you support, or somebody else in New and Kern, or our chill spot, help. I mean, my wife has counseled people getting ready to commit suicide, and, has saved those lives because of Facebook, because of the community that we have created. So if you're questioning whether or not Kratom or the community is for you, join the community and watch. My wall isn't the Kratom community. My wall is my wall. It's my freedom of speech. I do what I want. The Kratom community, The one that you can find, the landing spot would be New and Current, and that is really, I'm not going to be greedy and have this show be all about Taunton Bay. Yeah, Taunton Bay did sponsor this. They paid for all this computer stuff that allows me to do this. Sponsored by Flower Power Coffee Company, the best CBD infused coffee you will ever find. I think it's actually the only CBD infused coffee that you'll ever find. Chef Layton, he's known as the Ninja Chef. They're doing some amazing things, and we get some CBD infused flavored crushed leaf kratom coming your way soon. I didn't know if I was supposed to release that or not, but I did anyway.
Cat's out of the bag.
Yeah, cat's out of the bag. Let's see how we have for viewers. We still have quite a few viewers going on here. Anybody else want to call in? We got time for maybe one more. I don't want to really go over the 3-hour mark. I can, but I'd have to cut the video in 2 to be able to upload it to YouTube, I think. So, yeah. And I'm blind as a bat. That's why I keep bending over like this. All right. 207-669. You don't know it either.
Off the top of my head, no, I don't.
207-669-8225 is my direct line. Feel free to call. It's pretty loud through there when those ring, huh?
It's not too bad.
You have a call from...
It's Bekka.
Press 1 to answer the call.
Hello, Bekka.
Hey, how's it going?
I don't need my headphones with her. I am doing absolutely stunning. Well, I don't know about stunning, but I'm doing good. How are you? Do I know you?
Do you know me? Are you kidding?
How are you doing, man? You have another incredible story, too. Not only do you work for us, but you have a pretty remarkable story. Go ahead.
I would love to share it. Thank you so much.
While you're talking, I got to get out and take a quick break. So you talk away. Enjoy Logan's beautiful face. He's single.
Hi, Logan.
Becca's married, but ladies, he's single. I'm gonna kick your ass, Dad. Yes. Not wrong. All right, go ahead, Bekka.
Oh, man. All right. So it's really good to reach out and chat with you guys. So as far as my story goes, I don't even know where to start. I guess going back a little bit further, I was a gymnast and a dancer and a personal trainer for a long time. I actually had an accident when I was younger, maybe around the age of 12 or 13. I did like a handstand and I fell down and literally just my elbows buckled and I landed on the wrong side of my neck. I don't know if there's a right side, but that's what happened. And that was basically the beginning of my chronic pain adventure. So that happened, and I dealt with years of physical therapy to no avail, and eventually it went on to medication. So I don't think it was fully treated. Now, with that being said, years down the line, I was going through pain management eventually, and I lost my insurance. I got caught off from my medication suddenly, and I turned to a very nasty habit, something that I don't really talk about very often, and it's almost got me emotional just thinking about talking about it with everybody. I found my way to a really nasty habit. I was homeless for so long and just absolutely lost before I pulled myself out of that hole and got better. I went to the clinic and I really needed that then, and eventually it was time to leave. I went through some of the worst withdrawal and side effects I could ever imagine anybody going through.
And when I finally got clean from all of that, I found out that I was not only pregnant with my youngest, Will, but that I also had cervical cancer. So during the pregnancy, it was really rough. I still had to, do lots of testing and what have you. And I get through the pregnancy, and finally it's time for surgery and actual treatment. And it went okay the first time, but it came back a second time, and it came back harder. I ended up needing a full hysterectomy, which was one of the most painful surgeries that I've ever had in my entire life. And I've had a few, I've had about 15 plus surgeries in as many years, mostly on my abdomen, but also a couple surgeries for a severe burn accident that I had experienced as a child. So, nerve damage and pain on top of more pain and surgery. It was just absolutely ridiculous. And finally, after my treatment was done, the surgery was done, and I was healed up enough, it was time to get off the pain medicine. And I already knew what I was in for. So I started looking for alternatives. And it wasn't just, getting off the pain meds. I needed something to help me with the chronic back and neck pain that I had experienced pretty much my whole life. At that point, I could barely turn my neck at all. I usually had to turn my body just to look in another direction. I hadn't been able to hold my son in months at that point. And so it was really important to me to find something to help me outside of pain medication. And I was pretty much on my last hope when I ran across a forum post of all things. And I'll never forget it. They were talking about, how much this herb Kratom helped them. And the more research that I did, the more hopeful I became. And I remember explaining it to Bill, and it was so silly how he was like, oh no, that I know all about that, this, that, and the other. You're not going to do that. But eventually I convinced him to do it. And his sister, under the guise of a trip to San Francisco to visit the city, we managed to find our way to an herbal shop there, and they sold all sorts of stuff, including Kratom. I was on my last pain pill at that point, and like I said, literally, this was it for me. And I was so excited and nervous at the same time. So I get home, and I'm already starting to feel it, so I was ready to try it. It was like the worst experience ever trying to get it down, but I did. And let me tell you something. 20 minutes later, I looked at everybody in the room. I was at my sister-in-law's house visiting family at that point, and everybody just looked at me and they were like, "What's going on?" I was turning my neck. Something that I hadn't done in months, and I was like, no way. I stood up and I stretched, I moved my arms, I was like, whoa. And after a couple more minutes, I went over to my son, who, like I said, I hadn't been able to hold except for, maybe sitting down at that point. And I picked him up and I danced with him. I started spinning around the room, and everybody's like, stop, you're going to hurt yourself. But I felt so good. It just felt so good to hold my baby again. And that was really the very beginning of my Kratom story. But carrying on, several months later, without going into the, nitty-gritty, I just lost my train of thought. Squirrel. Okay.
Right? That's what we're saying. Damn squirrels. I'm going to go squirrel hunting someday. And then nobody will ever be able to keep up. Squirrels are the only thing that's saving everybody around me. No, I'm just kidding.
Right? Oh, yeah, but I also wanted to mention that I had been dealing with bursitis and tendinitis for quite some time. A possible arthritis diagnosis for years, which apparently is coming back to haunt me these days. But, you know, on top of all of that, like, Kratom was really helpful for me. But a couple months, well, about a year after trying Kratom for the first time and, you know, starting in with the community, I know we were some of the very first to go into NACU. We were, you know, it was brand new back in the day. And I remember y'all were just starting off, and it was just really so cool to meet everybody and connect. But shortly after that, I ended up having surgery. And without going into all the details on a live stream, of all places, I actually had a plastic surgery nightmare. And like I said, without really getting personal here, one of my incisions, I was, 3 weeks post-op. I thought I was doing okay. I had the surgery here in Michigan. I lived in California at the time, and I needed to come home about 2 weeks later, and come to find out, as soon as I got home, I had contracted a MRSA infection from the plane ride somehow, because planes are disgusting and dirty. And I had to go through 4 different surgeries within the next year. But right after that first one, that's how you and I met. You and I started talking, and I got to meet Dee, which was, you know, some of the best things to ever happen in my life. And back then, I didn't know it. But I was in so much pain, and not being able to work, you know, it was really tough on me. But Kratom got me through that even. And you guys kept me around for some crazy reason, putting up with my craziness over the years. And I just want to say thank you for that, because I know that you reached out to me to try and help me through, you know, my tough time at that time and help me get through. And you kept me on, and I don't know how to thank you for that, but that's really where, you know, our journey kind of started. And it's just so awesome that so many years later that I'm not only benefiting from Kratom, and until recent health issues, I didn't find the need for anything. I mean, it helped me so much. I was able to live my life and take care of my children and have a job and support my family. And it's been so wonderful to me in so many ways. And connecting with the community as a whole has just been like one of the best experiences of my life. Like, one of the biggest points that I always try to make with everybody is that the community in general is so kind and caring, and you know, the vendors, they really do care about their customers, about their community. And if, you know, you didn't, I just appreciate you guys so much, and it's just been such a ride, and such an honor to be with y'all and help take care of our community with you guys. And I just wanted to say, I really just wanted to touch on the protest and meeting you guys for the very first time and let everybody know who may not know you guys just what wonderful people you truly are and just how much you do truly care about your customers and your community. And it was just, I don't know, meeting you guys, it was like, we've seen each other 20 minutes maybe in person, and I don't know. I love you guys. You know what I'm trying to say.
We know that.
Kratom has done so much, and in so many ways, and I think it's helped so many people in so many ways as well.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's I don't know what the word is. Irrefusable, is that the right word? The hell is that word? Undisputable.
Undisputable.
Kratom works. I mean, there's no changing my mind. There's no changing my wife's mind. Okay, my wife said no way in hell to Kratom the first time I asked her about it. When I was going through all my troubles with the trazodone and the Adderall, and I started doing research on natural alternatives, and you guys know how I am when I come to research. I'm like a freaking monster. I sit there and go for 60 hours straight until I find the answer that I'm looking for. You know, and she said, no way. She read, because she Googled it, and you know what always pops right up first on Google is bad shit. Bad shit.
All shit you see in the
Yeah, so she was like, no way. And it took, I don't know, I think I was even in business for, no, I'm sorry, I wasn't in business, but she approved it after me haggling her for a while. And she's like, all right, I'll let you try it one time. And if I think you messed up in any shape, form, anything, that shit is not coming in my house. Well, 5 years later, here we are today. You know, I mean, we literally, I don't know what our numbers really are, but my guesstimate, rough guesstimate, is probably right around 5,000 people that I've seen. That's just us, that I've seen lives absolutely, people like 20 minutes later, their eyes are like, what the hell? What has been going on in my life? Why? You know, it's like, I don't know, I can't. I'm going to get myself in trouble. I just want to say so much shit sometimes that I really shouldn't.
Me too.
Positive influence from a company ever. I've heard countless stories. People saying how it influenced them and everybody else. It's an amazing thing. I first heard it at the head shop before I even knew that you guys even had this going on a couple years ago. And it was when they're carrying the same product. I'd go in there and talk to the guy working behind the counter. He said that people said it changed their lives and all this good stuff, and started doing some research into it, started talking to you about it. That's when I realized that you guys had this business. It's grown exponentially from the people that have.
Yeah, I mean, just the community alone. I mean, we have pastors that benefit from it. You would be amazed at the people that come in here. And honestly, I think the youngest one we have come in here might be 30. I don't know, maybe.
These guys down the road look pretty young.
Yeah, the guys on the road are pretty young, but you know, it's common, very common for 60-year-old ladies to be coming in here on a daily basis. Not the same one on a daily basis, obviously, but you know what I'm saying. It would blow your mind at the amount of people that once they learn about this natural alternative that is being so blackballed, and I mean, I'm talking about people that have really good jobs, really good positions that are looking at this shit being put out by the FDA, and they're like, what is going on? What the hell is really going on? I mean, these are people that vote every time there's a time to vote. You know what I'm saying? Are you hearing me? People that vote, this is the voting season. You know what I mean? We're not losing Kratom right now.
I just feel like we've come such a long way as far as education and awareness. Like you said, Veronica was totally against it, And Bill was too. You know what he told me? You will not believe this. He was like, I know all about that. It's just Chinese crack. And, like, I remember stopping him right there, like, not even trying it myself yet, and being like, I'm seeing all of these people benefit from it already. And at that point, it wasn't exactly hush-hush, but it was still kind of an underground thing. And to watch it go from being that to being so out in the open, and everybody is opening their eyes to the possibilities of this plant just in general. I think we got a lot of work to do yet, but we've got a lot of good things going for us.
Yeah, there's a lot of good things going for us. I mean, our advocacy groups have really stepped up. I mean, I'm just I don't know. I'm speechless at times to really honestly think that people think we're going to lose this plant so easily. When we started this, my thought, because I had people come to me like, man, you're crazy for putting it all over social media like that. You know, you're nuts. What are you doing? Why are you doing it like that? And I'm going to tell you why I did it like that. Because I wanted to make goddamn sure that if somebody comes knocking on my door, I wanted the world to know that I wasn't doing anything wrong.
Absolutely. And you know what? I think that kind of started somewhat of a revolution, that we all came forward and were like, you know, this is what we do. This is what helps us. And the more that we spread our good word about Kratom, I think the more people are beginning to realize that, you know, no, the FDA may possibly be wrong, that all these negative news stories may possibly be wrong, because there's so much contradicting evidence, or anecdotal evidence even. But even just that, like, we've just come a long way to spreading awareness, and not only to the people within the community, but outside as well. There are so many people that come into the groups every single day now saying, I'm new to this. You know what I mean? Like, there's just, we're gaining by numbers, and it is so inspiring to see. As far as the FDA thing goes, I don't know if this is going to work in their favor. I mean, there are too many people gunning for us.
No, I mean, okay, the ultimate call is left up to the DEA, okay? And one thing that you have to remember, and everybody needs to remember, that the DEA are law enforcement officers, okay? They are paid, you know, they're paid civil servants, okay? These people, the people at the FDA, I'm not going to start calling out names. You know, for whatever reason, I don't feel comfortable doing it on a live stream. But, you know, show me one DEA officer that was a lobbyist for a synthetic drug company or for a drug company. Show me one DEA agent that is a lobbyist. You know what I mean? That's taking money from the big pharma. You know, they get their money from drug busts, yeah, but they also have to go up for election if they want to become whatever. If they're trying to move up, generally they're trying to get into an elected office, okay? So they're going to listen to their tax-paying citizens, right? You would think?
Yeah.
That's my theory. I mean, this is a huge thing. This Kratom revolution that's going on right now happens so damn fast, way faster. The DEA never in their history has stopped a Schedule 1, an emergency ban. You know what I mean? They have never in their tracks stopped an emergency ban. They don't know what to do with this, so they're looking at the facts. I can guarantee you that right now they're sitting there going, wow, we do not know what to do. I could be wrong. I hope I'm not wrong, but I'm going to put it out there. I grew up with some people that are DEA agents, or were, you know, now they're in places like elected positions, but they're human beings, okay? And they have families, they have loved ones that are affected by the opioid crisis, okay? These are people that grew up with me, see where I have been, visit me in the jail and said, Derek, what the fuck are you doing? You know, because they knew that that was not me, but throughout the years of having broken bones from doing all kinds of crazy, stupid shit, that's all I knew. You know, from 11 years old on, that's all I knew was prescription drugs. So when I didn't have prescription drugs, the chemistry in my brain was all scrambled, and I needed something. You know, my doctor, the first time the doctor told me that I was going to have to be on something for the rest of my life, I was like, are you kidding me? I got so sick and tired of putting shit in my body every day. You know, and I still don't like it. I don't like getting up in the morning and having to take something so I can walk. I get up in the morning bent over for the first 20 minutes, half hour, and I have to walk circles around the inside of my house and wake everybody up just so I can stand up straight. You know, this shit isn't really a game. My life is in jeopardy if I lose Kratom. You know, I would have to make the mental choice of whether or not I'm going to fucking blow my brains out or not, basically. And it's not because I'm addicted to Kratom. It's because I lived with and in that body that they were trying to provide me with their prescription medications. And I'm not ready to fucking do that shit again. He's not ready to see me do it again. This is my son. And actually, technically, he's not even really, well, I can't say technically because he is my son. There is no blood.
Nope.
You know, I was going to say I adopted him, but I didn't even adopt him. He's just my son.
Close.
You know, there's paperwork don't mean nothing. There's none of that shit. You know, I'm just saying that this is my family, and he sees a big difference in him. My mom, God bless her soul, saw a huge difference in me, and she was even benefiting from Kratom, but she didn't want to admit it in public because I'm not going to go there. Wow, I'm heated, huh?
Excuse me. No, don't get heated. We're having a good conversation here, and I'm glad that we're having it.
Yeah, me too. There's just been a lot of shit that happens, and it has happened that, I don't know. I really think Kratom is going to be good. I mean, it's going to be rough for some people in some states, yeah, but I think, honestly, when people start making contact with their representatives, start making relationships, letting people know that they're real people, that they're law-abiding, tax-paying people that benefit from Kratom, people will start taking notice. They have to.
Absolutely. And they know, especially from our campaign back in 2016, they know that there's literally everyday people out there enjoying Kratom. And that includes law enforcement officers, grandparents, you know, parents, stay-at-home moms, professionals of all sorts of types, medical professionals even. And I don't think that they want to turn those people into criminals over questionable stuff that is coming from the FDA, the DEA, and now the CDC. But like I said, we have so many people backing us in the scientific community, and that's got to count for something, you know?
Yeah, I mean, the world D-Day clock or the atomic clock is run by, 5 scientists, right?
Right.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do next. I don't even want to speculate. So far, they're saying there's been 5 stages of the obvious FDA attack. You know, Scott Gottlieb, I mean, he was, here I go. He was taking money from the creators of a drug company, lobbying for them, you know, for a while. So, I don't know. Doesn't look good anyway.
Well, and that's the other side of it. I think everybody in the community has been awakened to what's going on, because I know when I first joined the Kratom community, I was naive, thinking, you know, these people are on our side. but it's becoming more and more apparent that they are not. And not only that, but the general public who hasn't had the clue of what Kratom even really is catching some of these stories, and especially the more positive, I guess you could say, professionally put, like, videos and such from, who was that guy that we were watching today that just posted? What was it, Ben something? But, like, he does a really, he made a really good case. And,
please.
Yeah.
Somebody will get it. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No problem. I just feel like with so many people on our side, and it's spreading across different platforms, even the news was doing positive Kratom stories a while back before the FDA started hitting on us. But it's reaching so many people, even when they don't know anything about Kratom. And I think if we continue that and continue what you're doing and doing these live streams, encouraging people to reach out and talk with you openly and candidly and explain their stories, and people are going to realize that, hey, no, this probably isn't as dangerous as the media is trying to make it look. Look how many of these people who have similar stories of success, and it's going to change their mind. I mean, I suppose the government, they can do whatever they want. They're the government, but we're going to make it really hard for them. We are not going to back down. We are a community full of fighters, and I have absolute faith in this working in our favor.
I do too. Obviously.
Heck yeah.
Craziness. Well, Bekka, thank you. I have one other person that wants to call in that. I went over the 3-hour mark, but what I'm going to do is I'll end up cutting this up and making another video out of some of the sound, making like a sound bite thing or something like that to shorten it up, put on YouTube, because I don't know a lot of people that will sit through a 4-hour movie, let alone
I get the
sitting here, we've had some pretty consistent numbers, and even though 11 o'clock was still at 11 live, and I appreciate everybody that is watching. Feel free to share. If there's anybody that doesn't know what Kratom is, feel free to call the shop Monday through Friday, and don't feel like it's a pressure call, because we will never pressure you, ever. You'll never get a cold call from us, a cold text, anything, ever. I don't even cold call shops, period. If I go into a shop, I'm teaching them about the benefits of Kratom. If I go into shops, I'm basically looking to, see if I even want to deal with them if they do call me. So I've been to a lot of shops. I only deal with a few.
Before we get going, I just wanted to say one last time how much I truly appreciate you and Veronica and the whole team just being in my life and taking care of me, looking after me and my family all these years, and being so wonderful to not only us, but the Kratom community in general. I really do appreciate everything, and I love you guys so much, and I absolutely cannot wait to get out there and be with y'all.
We're looking forward to it. And when are you coming out? Are you coming out for #Kratom Fest 2018?
Absolutely, but I'm moving out there, honey. I can't do it here anymore. And
me and Bill are gonna go fishing. Leave you ladies to do whatever you ladies do when us men are fishing, but
yeah, consider this my official notice. I am coming as soon as it's humanly possible. Right. I don't know why, like I said earlier, we've spent maybe 20 minutes together in person, but we've spent, I feel like, years as close as you can get to having that through online. that made no sense, but you know what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying.
And I just feel like you guys are family, and I'm so excited to be there with you guys.
Well, we're excited to have you, and we really need you here. My wife she's like, I can't wait for Bekka to get here. I can't wait for Bekka to get here. So yeah, you're wanted and needed and appreciated for all you do right now. We get here, I have some plans to help you out in a certain way with your RA. It's controversial and experimental, but I think it works.
Hey, with
We'll see.
everything that I've been dealing with right now, I am so down.
Yeah. I sat there and watched my mom go through probably the worst case of RA many people I've ever seen in my life. And I really honestly feel that it was the government's forceful nature and their war on drugs that made her pass away at 64. Granted, she probably wouldn't have lived the bestest life because RA obviously attacks the immune system in ways, but that's the beautiful thing about Kratom. Kratom is helping the immune system. You know, I'm going to let you go, dear. We'll do this again another night. I'm going to try and schedule this. Now that I know that it's working, people are watching, I've gotten over my fear. It's working. We'll get you back on. We'll do it again. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, I will be there.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. Have a good night.
Talk to you later. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. So is he still calling in?
I think so.
All right.
He said he was still hanging out.
I got one more caller. Hopefully he calls. I just want to get this. Like I said, I'm going to end up cutting this up to do an informational video. I guess it's not really called a soundbite video, but we'll get something decent going. Is he calling? Oh, Jonathan!
You have a call from
Jonathan Goodrow.
Jonathan Goodrow.
press 1 to answer the call. Press
Jonathan, buddy.
How you doing?
Hello.
Hello.
How are we doing tonight, guys?
Pretty good.
We are doing very well. Very well.
First time I've been live on anything, but it's pretty decent. It's like 10 words, so you can't mess that up.
You guys have been going out straight here for a while.
Yeah, man. It's been 4 hours, 15 minutes. It's been...
Holy cow.
It's been a good one. Been a really good one.
Get restless leg syndrome yet?
Yeah, I've had to get up a couple times and walk around and get a drink. And
Use a nice chair.
I was just say, take some Kratom, that'll solve that.
Yep.
Did that a couple times.
Yeah, well, when we first started the podcast, the first one we did screwed up. I didn't have enough bandwidth to keep going or something. I don't know if you noticed. I've been trying to bring in another feed from somebody and jumble it all to, make it. Thought I could do 3 or 4 people, but come to find out it's only working as a podcast now. So hey, whatever, it's all good. So what have you been up to? And go ahead, tell everybody who you are, how you know me.
Yeah, absolutely. So, my name's Jonathan Goodrow. I grew up with these guys. Logan's my brother, for those of you who are watching. Derek, I consider him my stepdad. He was talking about family earlier, and, I feel like Derek's, anytime somebody asks, I'm like, yeah, it's my stepfather, we might have drifted apart here over the years, but I think that comes with age. So obviously we've grown up together. We've all seen different sides of each other and everything. I think it was, what was it? Your son, Derek. 2 Dereks here.
Yeah.
I think it was, I'm trying to remember if it was his birthday or something like that. Out in Corinna or somewhere around there. It was like the first time I had seen you in a couple of years, I believe.
Yep.
And it was right around that time that you were just getting into Kratom, or I believe so anyways. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Just before I found Kratom, I had actually just gotten out of jail. Yeah.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, and then I remember that you were you were like, yeah, no, I've been doing this. It's really been helping me out, and
I was like, really? What is it? And, it just kind of raised me a couple questions, and you were like, well, I can't really explain it yet, but, here's some Red Borno, I believe is what it was called.
Close enough.
And, yep. And you gave me some of that, and you were like, it's kind of like an energetic thing, like really helps with anxiety and all that. And, going through college, I kind of had some of that anxiety. I think that just came with, school and not knowing what you wanted to do, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
But I'll never forget it. You gave it to me, and like it was literally almost like a blessing from heaven. You didn't need Adderall or any of that to like stay focused or do any of that. It was amazing to me. That's something of a plant. I mean, yes and no. It doesn't really surprise me, but I mean, just like something that was like you can mix with tea, just kind of provided all these results. And I didn't struggle with like a drug addiction. I definitely went down the route of taking Adderall and other drugs and stuff like that to kind of help with coping with stress and overcoming anxieties and all of that. And of course, by doing those drugs, actually gave me a lot more anxiety that was more permanent. And I'll never forget either. You gave me a nice package of it after I told you about that. And you gave me like a whole bunch of different kinds and said, try them and tell me what you think. So, now that you've got your business here, I was supposed to give you a review way back in the day. I don't think I ever did that. But yeah, no, it's, just coming from my end of things, as just a teenager, essentially, 24 years old, I still love to take this stuff just for the fact that it makes me feel good. And it really helps with my focus. I still struggle with anxiety. That's starting to go away. But Kratom definitely helped push me in that direction, which, I was very thankful for. And I don't think I would have ever been open to it if it wasn't for you in the first place. And I got to say, like, you've created one hell of a community out of this. And I mean, keep going, because you're changing a lot of people's lives, and I'm thankful for it, and I know a lot of other people are.
Thank you, man. Thank you. It means a lot that you called in. It's like as you know, Logan's working here with us now, and you do drift away from people, and it's not anything intentional. And I'm horrible at it, man. I'll go away on vacation and won't call my wife all week long, and it's not that I don't love her, it's just like, it's like squirrel, and there's so much to do.
Kind of caught up in the moment of everything.
It's not that we don't appreciate anybody. I mean, some of us, I think it's a male thing more than a female thing, where we see each other 5 years down the road, we hug, love each other like we did, and nothing was any different than it was 5 years ago. When you have that connection to somebody, and somebody's good people, then that's how life should be. I like to think that even though I was kind of wild and reckless when you guys were younger, I like to try and think that I still instilled some sense of being able to control your mind over certain situations and try to overcome. And I feel like I was feeling like I let you guys down when I divorced your mother. And that's why I fell so hard.
Mm-hmm. No, not at all. I mean, hey, everything happens for a reason, right?
Right.
It's more mostly character, pulling yourself together. I feel like everything happens for a reason, and you are today from what you went through and what you put yourself through. So that's
exactly. And I wouldn't be half the man I am today if it wasn't for everything growing up. I don't blame anybody for anything.
Right. Yeah. Well, I thank you, man. And just know that I love you and Eric, like as much as I love Logan and Derek, and you guys are all my boys, man. I'm blessed,
I love you as well.
That's the thing, man. You 5 boys, you guys all got your shit together, and I was a major fucker growing up,
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's just good to see, that, a father figure that we grew up with, getting their shit together, essentially.
Still cry like a baby, though.
That's all right.
Well, it's pretty cool in the end to see how everything played out. Now it's like think of. You're doing things that people go to college, can't even do or haven't done.
Right.
Can't dream about
Yeah.
doing.
Yeah.
So.
Absolutely. And I would like to think that I've learned a lot of entrepreneurial skills from you as well, because you've had so many different businesses and they've been successful and then they've shut down, just how business goes. But
Move on.
You gotta keep
On to the next episode, right?
Exactly. Just keep chugging. And that's one thing that I've definitely learned. So
yeah, that's what you're doing. You're doing your own thing right now, kind of starting almost your own.
All right.
Like,
You break your jaw, you drink through a straw. You feel that jaw's going to be stronger.
That's the point.
Oh, I like that.
So Logan tells me that you got your own podcast now.
Yeah. It's not officially launched yet. I am still trying to find some people to host. I haven't really focused on it yet, but I've just reached out to a couple people. David Meltzer, who's been a big entrepreneur and he's got a decent following on social media and everything. And
I think I've heard of him.
he said to give him a message here and we can schedule a podcast session. So what I call my podcast is the Daily Entrepreneur Playbook. So it's just going to give people lifestyle skills and entrepreneurial skills that, anybody can take, even if they're an entrepreneur or if they're not.
Right. Make sure to log those keywords proper.
Yeah, exactly. I know.
Right.
I was going to talk to you about all this business setup stuff that you got with the live feed and everything, because it looks awesome and it's going really smooth.
Thank you.
It's impressive seeing it here. I'll tell you that. It looks like a legitimate studio. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Thank you. Yeah, we're getting there. Well, I mean, my goal is to be able to have something that's, functionable and that runs smoothly, to be able to help not only the customer interaction, but a platform where people that are questioning whether or not what we're doing, not just us, but if Kratom in general is really what the government is making it out to be. And I don't want to say the government, because it's not the government. It's people behind the government. And that's for another episode. It is almost DAC after hours.
Yeah, that would be a good name for it, actually.
Yeah.
On to the next episode.
There we go. Lead it into the next.
So you come out to that Kratom Fest, John? I don't even think we told the people about the details on that.
Oh, yeah, I did.
So.
Yeah, so August 10th, 11th, and 12th in Harmony, Maine.
Okay.
At the Freedom Field, okay? And I'm not going to get into a huge, long detail about what the Freedom Field is. Do me a favor and Google the Freedom Field in Harmony, Maine. And I'm hoping you guys will be pretty impressed that we're going to keep the Freedom going. Taunton Bay has become sponsors of the Freedom Field this year. We're teaming with Genesis Farms. He's also in Maine, and those of you who don't know, Dennis at Genesis Farm was on Vice TV using RSO oil to detox opiate addicts, and I brought him aboard, and I'm educating him about Kratom and educating a lot of the medical marijuana community about Kratom, and we're all joining forces, and we're going to keep that field going better than ever. We're going to use it as a platform to educate. So we're excited.
Great.
But we're going to do it with music, interesting talks, things for the kids to do, keep the kids busy, wear them out, have them sleep really good at night so the parents can hang around their campfires, play acoustic guitars, or do whatever they want.
Live performances too, I think. Some fire performances.
Yeah, we got some live performances coming. I already have a couple names. I don't have them right here, but I have somebody working on getting everything written up for the website. The tickets are on sale. I can post them in the link later after the show, but the tickets are up for sale. Right now, it's the early bird tickets. It's $50 for the early bird ticket for the whole weekend. $50 for a whole weekend for all that. I've only got 100 of those tickets up for sale right now, just to kind of test the waters and see how it's going. I really hope people bite onto this. It costs a lot to not only sponsored the field, but for the fest itself, it obviously costs a lot of money to just secure the field. So I'm putting a leap of faith on the leap of faith.
You can't get a camping weekend that cheap. So
yeah, no, we do have 6 cabins, but they are limited. So hit those early bird tickets right now, and we'll talk about the price. I'm pretty sure it's going to be $75 for the entire weekend per person. I do need volunteers. I'm gonna be responsible for the cleanup of that field afterwards. So if I could get some volunteers to help, that would be great. The volunteers obviously will get the events and campsite. So yeah, give me a shout.
I'm probably gonna be doing that. So
I hope so. So yeah, come on
that
up.
whole weekend.
Awesome. You better be. All my damn family better be there.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Moving to New York here in May, so hopefully it won't be an issue. I can't see why.
It's a bus ride.
I know now.
Yeah, it's a short bus ride.
Yeah, exactly.
Amtrak.
Used to it.
Do the Amtrak. Amtrak's comfortable.
Get you to Brunswick.
Yep.
True. That's very true. Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Now, is this a new thing that you're doing, right?
The Kratom Fest?
Yeah.
Yeah. This would be the first ever Kratom Fest in the USA.
Same dates as the Freedom
Field.
Field.
Wow, awesome.
But you guys are kind of like sponsoring and putting a lot of that on.
What's that?
With the Freedom Field, that's been a festival that's been going on for a few years, but you guys are just kind of hopping on that, right?
Yeah, the Freedom Field has been going on for 27 years. It was created by Donnie, who is the founder of the Maine Vocals, which is a freedom fighting group for cannabis. So, yeah. We're learning a few things. You know, nobody knows what we're doing here, so I decided to take some advice from fellow friends who know what the hell is going on. Right. So, yeah.
Awesome.
So, thanks.
That's very exciting.
Getting there. It's a lot of work.
It's going to be worth it in the end.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
It'll just turn out better next year. I have a feeling this year's going to be great.
Oh, this year is going to be, I think, a blowout, to be honest with you.
But I can only go.
Oh, yeah.
I'm more worried about the cleanup afterwards, to be honest with you. That's stressing me out a little bit.
It's not going to be a regular festival, so it'll be all right.
Yeah.
It'll be all right.
Yeah. Cool.
Well, that'll be a blessing, though, that you'll have to clean up, because that means it'll be a good turnout.
Yeah. That would be good. So, yeah, we got booths. We're going to have vendor booths there. The vendor booths for stage side, it's like a huge triangle area. So you're going to have a booth on the inside of the triangle and the outside of the triangle. Those booths are $500 for a 12x12 booth. You get your camping spot. I think we're going to have 14 of those available. And then we have the back lot, which is the road. There's a road that goes way up and around the field and the back side of the stage. They call those back lot slots. Those are 12x12, and those are $300, and you get your camping. So, I mean, it really works out well for everybody. I think I want 3 food vendors. I already found one. And some clothing vendors, music vendors. I'd like to get some different artists out there, even if they're not going to be up on stage, if they want to come out there and have demos in the 12x12 tent. You know what I mean? It's a festival, but everybody's got to be respectable. You know what I mean? It's not going to be a drunk. This is a family festival. There'll be a separate area out set aside that if people want to go have a drink or have a smoke or socialize, things that are unacceptable for kids, they can go someplace, you know what I mean? But this is a family festival. It's going to be an educational festival. There's going to be designated speakers, and there's going to be another designated area where there's some educational series going on from doctors about Kratom. So, and cannabis will have some education pieces there too, as well as CBD and, everything like that.
Yes. That's awesome. I'm looking forward to it already.
Awesome. So spread the word. Get that channel going, man, and help us spread the word. That's what I'm hoping on, man. I'm hoping to get a bunch of YouTubers going and just spreading a bunch of. Well, they're already doing it, man. I was hoping to get Chris D-Money on. Tim's Revids. He has a YouTube channel on YouTube, and looking to get him on. He's been blasting it out of the water with Kratom. doing information pieces about Kratom. So yeah, things are going really good. We got Dewey. Yeah, we've got a few people out there doing it right. That's for a whole nother show, though.
Yeah, just getting some partnerships with them and getting some shout outs.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I was going to say, I'll see what I can do. Hopefully we build this up too, and we'll get the word out, and I'll get it out to my following as well.
Cool, man. All right.
Well,
John,
absolutely.
Thanks for calling, man. I'm going to end up shutting this thing off. I'm getting dry mouth. I don't know what my drink is.
Thanks for
delusional.
I didn't even expect you to be viewing, but thanks for checking it out, too.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, thanks for having me on, guys.
Hey, anytime, dude. Anytime I'm on, give us a show. Love you, man.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Have a great night.
You too, man.
Peace. I keep cutting people off before they're done saying.
Oh, okay. That's too late.
I get this guy, Mercury, said, I've been following on YouTube. Merc, what's up? He's got this one video. He does his songs right live on his video, shoots in one shot like that. He's got these two backup singers that come in on one of his videos.
That's pretty cool.
Hold it like that. One guy comes in like 2 minutes into the video, 30 seconds into the video, stops one way, and the other guy stops. They hold that thing the entire song. After a while, you forget that you watched him step on stage, and it's like, what? This is cool stuff. Anyways, shout out to Merrick. All right, I got to end this. It's 11:30 Eastern time. I know it's still early for you folks on the West Coast, probably just tuning in, but sorry about you up. Hey.
They'll be able to see the whole thing on the channel.
If you want to call in tonight, you can, but we can do another show. It's going to kill me trying to edit this. Oh, what? Who's trying to do what? I'm missing something on the chat down here. Thanks, Travis, man. Can you reserve the corner? Bed and breakfast? Yeah, absolutely, Adrian. You know I got you, brother. All right. Well, you guys can keep chatting. Remember, go to YouTube, like my channel, TauntonBaySoapCompany.com. Can't forget it. So the YouTube channel is Taunton Bay Soap Company. I have a personal channel too, Derek Hines, but I don't put as much content on it because I've got like 17 platforms going on, and it shows when I'm spreading myself thin, which I'm trying not to do. In May, I'm actually going on a vacation. I'm going to Colorado. I'm going to go see my buddy Josh and Tyler. We're going to do some snowboarding. Woo! Anyway, peace out. I can't read this thread no more. It's making my eyes hurt. Peace.
Thank you,
love.
guys.
Say bye to Logan.
Bye, guys. It's a pleasure.
See you again soon.